We are in the middle of America. A gorgeous day for baseball from St. Louis, Missouri. An old rivalry is renewed. The world champion Chicago Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals on Fox Sports Midwest and FS1. With 8-time Gold Glover Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is the third member of our broadcast crew. Very good matchup here today between these two teams. John Lester, the left-hander, Carlos Martinez, the young fireballer of St. Louis.
Yeah, we're going to see a nice matchup today between an old veteran, John Lester, who could pitch his way around any situation, and the new young ace, Carlos Martinez. The second time this year they've gone at it. You can see the stats from opening day this year was quite a battle. It'll be interesting to see what the offense does, the offenses do, breaking in against this pitching staff.
John Lester, very good in his career against St. Louis, both in regular season play and the postseason. Carlos Martinez has won 2 straight. Cubs and Cardinals. First pitch is next.
This is not another 18-blade razor.
Because this is one blade from Philips Norelco. A blade for beards and stubble. Shape and shave any length and be your best you with one blade from Philips Norelco. Innovation and you. Philips Norelco.
A naturally aspirated 5-liter V8 engine. A 10-speed direct shift transmission. A meticulously crafted interior. All of these are feats of engineering. Combining them with near-perfect weight distribution is a feat of amazing. Experience the first ever 471 horsepower Lexus LC500 or the multi-stage hybrid LC500H. Experience amazing.
Alexa, ask Domino's to place my easy order.
Life moves pretty fast.
If you can't track your pizza, you could miss it.
Order 2 medium 2-topping pizzas for just $5.99 each and track them on your favorite device.
Getting food to hungry older Americans cannot stop, and it won't. Hey, these are our parents and our grandparents out there. Let's start talking about how we can really get to the root of the problem.
Hey, we hear you. Fighting hunger doesn't stop here. I'm working with AARP Foundation's Drive In Hunger team to change the national conversation around hunger, bring experts together, and make programs better than ever. If you don't think we're in this together when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Learn more at aarp.org/possibilities.
Hey.
Kevin Harvick.
Changing your oil after 3,000 miles?
Yes.
If you'd used new Mobil 1 annual protection, you wouldn't have to. You protect your engine for 1 year with just 1 oil change.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
Can I ask you a question? Why are you 3 inches tall?
Why aren't you 3 inches tall?
Don't change your oil. New Mobil 1 annual protection. Available at these locations.
I'm leaving you, Wesley.
But why?
You haven't noticed me in 2 years.
I was in a coma.
Well, I still deserve appreciation.
Who was there for you when you had amnesia?
Ugh, you know I can't remember that.
Stop this madness. If it's appreciation you want, you should both get Snapshot from Progressive. It rewards good drivers with big discounts on car insurance.
I have news. I've used most of our cellular data.
Oh, come on, Susan Lucci!
Today's game is brought to you by Bud Light, famous among friends. Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. By Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Game 1 last night here at Busch Stadium, the 3rd largest crowd in regular season play at this ballpark, over 47,000. And the Chicago Cubs would win in dramatic fashion late in that game, held on for a 3-2 victory as you get a look at Joe Madden. And the Cubbies come in a game and a half back of St. Louis in the National League Central Division as Carlos Martinez takes to the mound. He will inscribe in the dirt OT 18 to remember Oscar Taveras, Yordano Ventura before his first pitch as well. You will also notice that the players around Major League Baseball, not just in this game, but they are wearing pink. And that is to support breast cancer awareness, an initiative put together by Major League Baseball, integrated with Mother's Day. And it's the Going to Bat Against Breast Cancer program. So again, the uniforms incorporate pink into the club's regular logos with all caps highlighted by a graphite crown and pink visor. It is a banged-up lineup right now for Chicago, missing some of their stars. Kyle Schwarber leads it off, followed by the Major League debut of Ian Happ, one of their top prospects. Anthony Rizzo, Jeimer Candelario, switch-hitting third baseman. Tommy La Stella, Wilson Contreras, Javier Baez. The pitcher batting eighth, John Lester. Albert Ormora is batting ninth and playing center field. So there's a look at the numbers for Carlos Martinez, making his team leading eighth start of the year today. He's won 2 in a row. In his last outing against Miami, it was a 9-4 St. Louis win. And Wainwright, he's one of the best in baseball.
He definitely is one of the best in baseball. And the guy on the other side also is one of the best competitors in baseball. And we've seen him over the years go to different cities and really put his team on the map. And saw what he did last year for the Chicago Cubs, and John Lester today going to look to keep the Cardinals off the scoreboard.
The former Cub Dexter Fowler in center field. Big day for him coming up in a couple of weeks as he will be in Chicago to get his World Series ring. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs, Pham, Fowler, and Sierra in the outfield. Jerko, Diaz, Garcia, Carpenter on the infield, and Yadier Molina is behind the plate. Slow start for Kyle Schwarber, hitting 189. The first pitch is hit in the air to left field. Tommy Pham, recently called up by St. Louis, makes the catch, and there's one away. Let's take a look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal with Carlos Martinez.
Yeah, you see here with fastball, slider, changeup, and curveball. Not a whole lot of curveballs, but the fastball is the pitch. We watched that fastball today. He'll be anywhere when he's messing around, 92, 93 to 100 to 101. Sinker, four-seamer, good slider, and like I said, that changeup there, not so many curveballs, but fastball is the pitch to watch today.
Every draft pick from 2011 for the Cubs is now at least on their roster, their 25-man roster, and this is their first-round pick in 2015. Ian Happ played collegiately at Cincinnati, 9th overall selection in the draft of 2015. The number 23 prospect overall, number 2 in the Cubs system. A changeup taken in the dirt, 1-2.
And speaking with the guys in the Cubs this morning, they were really excited that he got a chance to come up here and start this game today and look for big things out of this young man, and said to keep an eye on him over the course of today.
Welcome to the big leagues. Catches the outside corner and a strikeout for Carlos Martinez. The tight slider again of Carlos.
I think he might have gotten a little rookie treatment there.
Maybe
first
so.
at bat. Welcome to the big leagues, like you said.
Here's Anthony Rizzo. Did have a base hit in the first inning off of Cardinals starter Mike Leake. Game 1 last night, but he has been struggling too. He is 5 for his last 44. That's a 114 average in his last 11 games. And the 0-1 pitch. Carlos Martinez against the Cubs. This being his 11th start. Record of 3-3. Face Chicago on the opening night of the baseball season, as he recorded his 4th ever double-digit strikeout game. He had 10 that night. Chris Sale, by the way, of the Red Sox, already with 6 of those this season, and leads the American League in strikeouts with 73. Here's a 2-1 pitch.
You can see the ball jumping out of Carlos Martinez's hand. Gets to the plate so quick. You have to be so ready to hit when he's on the mound. But you can see right there, the part that he has to work on is just being consistent.
So a 2-out walk. Jeimer Candelario, the third baseman, batting cleanup. The Cubs a year ago, everything went right for them. Starters didn't get hurt. They were producing up and down their lineup, and they weren't chasing nearly as much as we've seen in the strike zone with their hitters. They're 3 and 4 hitters combined, hitting just .206 this year. Candelario is hitting .083, just called up this past week. And the first pitch is popped up. And going back, Diaz on the outfield grass. Makes the catch, a 2-out walk to Rizzo. He's left stranded, and the Cardinals coming up in the home half of the first.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? You make it detect what they don't.
Stop. Sorry.
You make it sense what's coming.
Watch. Mom, relax. I'm relaxed.
You make it for 16-year-olds.
Whoa.
And the parents who worry about them.
You sound right.
Going further to help make drivers better drivers.
Don't freak out on me.
That's Ford. And that's how you become America's best-selling brand.
That's life. That's what people say. You're riding high in April and shot down in May.
That's life. You diet, you exercise. And if you still need help lowering your blood sugar, this is Jardiance. Along with diet and exercise, Jardiance lowers blood sugar and A1C in adults with type 2 diabetes. Jardiance is also the only type 2 diabetes treatment with heart, proven to reduce the risk of cardiovascular death in adults with type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration. This may cause you to feel dizzy, faint, or lightheaded, or weak upon standing. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. Symptoms include nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, and trouble breathing. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of ketoacidosis or an allergic reaction. Symptoms of an allergic reaction include rash, swelling, and difficulty breathing or swallowing. Do not take Jardiance if you are on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Other side effects are sudden kidney problems, genital yeast infections, increased bad cholesterol, and urinary tract infections, which may be serious. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar. Tell your doctor about all the medicines you take and if you have any medical conditions. So talk to your doctor about Jardiance, the one and only type 2 diabetes treatment with heart. Visit Jardiance.com for a free consultation with a certified diabetes educator if you qualify.
Go, let's go. Hey, we got Caitlin on the hill. Stay back. We got a good arm behind the plate. All right, but we're going to run on him. Let's go, baby. Get it up. Win on 3, huh? Hey, win on 3. 1, 2, 3, win!
Switch hitting Dexter Fowler will start things off for the Cardinals, followed by Aledmys Diaz and Matt Carpenter in this lineup. Jed Jerko, Yadier Molina, Greg Garcia, Tommy Pham, Magneuris Sierra, and the pitcher batting ninth, Carlos Martinez, against one of the game's best in John Lester. The 33-year-old from Tacoma, Washington. And Lester coming off a terrific season. His second year with Chicago after signing that 6-year deal. Went 19-5 with a 2.44 ERA. Second in the Cy Young Award to Max Scherzer of Washington.
You can see just 88 mile an hour, but the cutter is so hard for guys to hit on the opposite side of the plate. The ball is bearing in on your hands. You have to determine if it's going to be a big one or a small one. See the spin, but you just don't know where it's going to end up. And talked about this with the cutter the other day and made Mariano Rivera so tough to hit against because sometimes it was the big slower cutter, sometimes it was the really small tight one, and you get a little velocity change, but it's so hard to recognize.
Now Lester against St. Louis, 13 career starts. That includes the playoffs and World Series with the Boston Red Sox. His record 5-4, but the ERA 1.86. The 2-2 pitch. Last night was the first start for Dexter Fowler since May 4th, battling a shoulder injury. A diving attempt on a catch in left center. He could hit, but throwing was the issue. 3-2 pitch. And he missed there. And already Lester glaring back into the home plate umpire, Bill Welke. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks.
You can see this pitch is clearly out of the zone, but The thing about good pitchers is they're expecting to get that pitch. They're consistent around the plate. He's consistent with that cutter and being down in the zone. So rightfully so, he's going to want the pitches he thinks are close, and he's going to keep pushing a little bit until he finds out where that strike zone is.
Cardinals shortstop a year ago, Aledmys Diaz. Little bouncer left side. Out at second, the turn, and it's a double play. Going in hard was Fowler at second base. And taking out Tommy LaStella in a nifty turn on the 2.
You see this right here. I mean, it's getting to the point we protect the second baseman so much that guy just slides over the bag and they're so comfortable there they don't even move at all. I mean, that rule to me is atrocious. I hate it. I think it's part of the game, the breaking up a double play, especially when you got guys on third and 1 out. Games are won and lost that way. It's just hard for me to watch baseball over so long in a period turn into just, you might as well not even slide. I mean, that's a great slide by Dexter, but that's about as aggressive as you can be. What's the point?
Here's Carpenter. Leads the Cardinals in home runs with 7. And he's driven in 22. 17 RBIs in his past 14, drawing a ton of walks. He comes in second at the start of play today in walks, just behind Paul Goldschmidt, the outstanding first baseman of Arizona. He has 30, Carpenter with 29. 1 ball and 1 strike. John Lester, originally a 2nd-round pick by Boston, made his major league debut in 2006. Parts of 9 seasons with the Red Sox. Was with Oakland in their stretch run of 15. And now in his 3rd season with the Chicago Cubs. Hyundai pitch arsenal. You look at all that, the one that stands out, the cutter.
Yeah, and I would be willing to bet that the 42% fastball is mostly cutters too. I think if you watch the game, you'll see a lot of the ball is going to be breaking into the righty, away to the lefty. And I mean, if you're asking a hitter, what does he throw? He throws cutters, and that's the one pitch you got to worry about. Just makes it so hard on the right-handed hitter because you always have to be inside conscious, and that is the one thing you never want to be as a hitter.
Carpenter trying to make it 12 straight games and reaching base. Jonathan Scope of Baltimore leads in that category with 26 in a row. The Chicago defense, look at Ian Happ, the rookie in right field. Almora in center, Schwarber's in left. Candelario, Baez, LaStella, and Rizzo on the infield. Wilson Contreras. What a difference maker he was in game 1, both at the plate and behind the plate. He's your catcher today for Chicago. And a 2-2. Carpenter sends one down the left field line and out of play. Looking at the Central Division, 4 of the 5 teams are above the 500 mark.
I think that's pretty normal for the Central Division. I think what we saw last year was a little crazy. The Cubs running away with it. Saw that they were 8 or 9 games above 500 already to this point last year, and hard to do that. This is kind of a normal year, I think, for the Central. Everybody's going to be good.
Contreras easily throws it down to Rizzo. Little different than the 9th inning that we saw last night. No score.
Who's that?
It's my son. This is Rosenberg. I'm Topher Brophy. We get easily confused because there's a resemblance, people say. He loves taking pictures. And the camera on the Galaxy S8, it's amazing. He doesn't brag about it, of course, but he does have a lot of followers. And with Sprint's unlimited plan, we can post whenever we want, which works for me. Does the plan work for you? He says it works for him.
Lease a Samsung Galaxy S8 and get a Galaxy S7 Edge lease on us. That's 2 Galaxies for the price of 1.
Hey man, let's play ball.
Oh, he pops it into center field. Could be trouble.
Hey, Walker, go, 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 go,
However you play ball, play ball.
Go to playball.org to find out more.
You're here to buy a used car, truck, SUV. That's smart. TrueCar can help. It's great for finding a new car, but you already knew that. It's also great for finding the perfect used car. You'll see what a fair price is, and you can connect with a TrueCar certified dealer. So no matter what you're looking for, there it is. This is how buying a used car should be. This is TrueCar.
It's time to try something new and get big savings for your business at Vistaprint. Connect more with slim, square, or rounded corner business cards. Say more with buy, try, or Z-fold brochures. Stand out more with 6 different sizes of posters. And save more because everything is up to 40% off. Plus, take 50% off all business cards. So go to Vistaprint.com and enter Sale 40 before May 16th to try something new to impress your customers at Vistaprint.
Probably the most important shot Dustin Johnson has ever hit right here.
The shot of his life. A birdie at 18. Dustin Johnson will win the U.S. Open. Tommy LaStella, the second baseman, leads it off for Chicago. And the first pitch is a strike. First career home run off a lefty pitcher last night for LaStella. And there's a base hit into right. Magneuris Sierra, for those that have followed the Cardinals for a long time, his speed will take you back to the running Redbirds of Whitey Ball in the 1980s. Cardinals haven't seen a guy run like this in a long time. This afternoon is his home debut. With more on that, let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, Dan, Sierra has been given the label as a kid who doesn't scare. I asked Sierra before the game if he was nervous at all about making his first start at Busch Stadium, and he told me not yet. I asked if he thought he would get nervous. He told me, I don't think so. I feel really comfortable here. I feel like I'm home. He told me he's gotten used to his teammates quickly. They've gotten used to him. He added, I think we can win a World Series here. Mike Matheny told me this on putting Sierra back into the starting lineup today. It's about keeping the kid engaged and realizing he can make some things happen. And Dan, Cardinal fans have already seen plenty of that in a very short time.
No doubt. He's hitting 4 straight. Former organization player of the year for the Cardinals back in 2014. Wilson Contreras, happy birthday to him, turning 25 here this afternoon in the lineup for Joe Maddon's club. Looks at a good slider, 0-2. 2 home runs for Contreras last night. First time he's done that in a game in his big league career.
Pretty impressive what I watched last night with his swing. Ball he hit to right field, straightaway right field, and then the other ball to deep left center field on the line. And Joe Maddon talked about it this morning like it hit another gear with that spin rate and that backspin. The ball never came down. It just stayed at the same level and straight into the seats.
Strikeout number 2 for Martinez.
Be an interesting situation. This game develops right here. You already see both sides complain about the strike zone. Just keep an eye on that. See how that plays out one way or the other. Someone's going to make a statement with that before too long.
Here's Javi Baez at shortstop today. Addison Russell dealing with a sore arm. He is available to pinch hit. 1 out runner at first, and Baez fouls it back in a good cut. Jim Henry, the former GM, this is his pick, Javi Baez, and then Theo Epstein came in, and all these other draft picks have come up to the major leagues. 0-1 pitch. Ground ball left side, backing up Jerko, out at second. It will be an out. And Joe Maddon is going to want to take a look at this. Greg Garcia at second base. The everyday second baseman is Colton Wong.
Be interested to see how quickly he bobbles this. Not a very good shot, but when he bobbles it, he catches it again. He still might have a chance to have him out. He's definitely out right there. having trouble getting it out of the glove. Sometimes these guys are just trying to be a little too quick, and it's hard. We talked about this last night again too, the small glove at second base, and even my son's asking me, why does a second baseman have such a small glove? And it's for when they have to turn that double play. Specifically, the ball has to stay right there in that little pocket right there, because they're trying to get rid of it so quick that you got to have that ball in the same place every time.
And it brings in John Lester. 071 on the year. Runner at first is Wilson Contreras, and Lester with a fly ball out to center. Look at this. Off the wall, taken there by Fowler. Diaz, no throw, and John Lester almost picked up a 2-run homer. The Cubs, though, do pick up a lead.
And I was just about to say, not much of a hitter, but look what happens here. Missed your spot a little bit, throw the ball right down the middle, and we talk about the middle. Throw the ball down the middle in the big leagues, even if it's a pitcher. It's going to put a good swing on it. I thought this ball was going to get out. It just missed being a home run by 3 feet.
That's his 4th career double. He has never homered in the big leagues. Albert Almora, the center fielder and the 9th place hitter. 1-0 Chicago. Lester came into this season an .064 hitter. That's fouled back, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs and a runner at second base. Breaking ball, and he struck him out. 2 strikeouts in the inning, but a double from John Lester. It's 1-0.
Mrs. Andrews, I found the perfect stone for your ring. Come in this afternoon. No. No.
Hello, the Hartford.
Yes, hello. I need to file a property claim.
Don't worry. You chose the right small business insurance.
When the unexpected strikes, the Hartford strikes back. It's why over 1 million small businesses and their agents trust the Hartford.
Thank you.
This is Jason Kipnis, second baseman for the Cleveland Indians. His nickname is Dirtbag because getting dirty never holds him back. When Kip's not playing baseball, he's reading about baseball. When he's not reading about baseball, he's listening to baseball. When he's not listening to baseball, he's watching baseball.
Ooh, you better get dirty, get down.
And when he's not watching baseball, he's playing baseball. MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball.
Oh, taking some time off.
No, I'm scheduling time to go to the bank to get a mortgage.
Oh, you're using a vacation day to go to the bank?
I know, right?
Just go to lendingtree.com. Get up to 5 loan offers to compare side by side for free.
Wow, that's great. Wait, how did you get in my kitchen?
Oh, I followed a raccoon in through your doggy door.
Get a better mortgage on your schedule, not the bank's. Lending Tree. When banks compete, you win.
Just think of him as a big cat with rabies.
Hi, neighbor. You're selling your action figures. You love those.
Oh, my car needs a new window track, and the dealer wants a fortune. Time for desperate measures.
Don't pay crazy dealer prices when RockAuto.com has all the parts your car will ever need at half the price. Here's your window regulator. Pick the brand, click Add Part. It's easy.
With Rock Auto's low prices, I can fix my car and keep my action figures. And you too, Buster.
Rock Auto. All the parts your car will ever need.
All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto.
Get caught up with all the action from around the league on MLB Whip Around. Weeknights at 11 Eastern on FS1.
Weeknights on FS1. After all the action on the diamond, the best team of analysts in baseball gets you caught up in a full night of action around the big leagues on MLB Whip Around. Weeknights at 11 Eastern on FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Jed Jerko leads it off for the Cardinals against John Lester. Jerko leads St. Louis in average, 340. That's in the top 10. First in the league is Ryan Zimmerman. He's at 393. Little chopper towards third. Candelario makes the play. The BJC Healthcare difference maker concerns the Chicago Cubs' John Lester. 5 starts, ERA below 2, and opponents average below 2 in the World Series. Sandy Koufax a .95 ERA. George Earnshaw, John Lester, and the Cardinals' Bob Gibson.
Some kind of stat and some kind of company, huh?
Big game pitcher.
I was going to say, some people say you get measured on how you do in the playoffs in the World Series. Well, really doesn't get any better than that.
He is a 3-time World Series champion. 2007 and 13 with the Red Sox. Last year with Chicago as Molina hits it out to left. Sinking liner caught by Schwarber for out number 2. Tenth start of the year for Greg Garcia. You go back to the top of the second, the ground ball that was hit off the bat of Javier Baez, and that could have been potentially a double play. Jerko to Garcia over to first. Garcia could not get a handle on it, extended the inning, and Lester made him pay. Greg has been a part of that valuable bench of the Cardinals primarily. Cardinal pinch hitters hitting .426 this year. And both the Cardinals and the Cubs have the most pinch hits of any team in baseball with 20. Third baseman is in and a 1-1.
Tell you what, he's not missing by much. He's going to get frustrated pretty quickly if he doesn't start getting some of those calls, because even though they might be balls, they're pitcher's pitches and they're around the plate, and that's how he makes his living.
So moments ago, the play at second almost turned by Greg Garcia. Jerko, pretty good feed, chest high. Just couldn't get it out of the glove cleanly.
Just trying to be too quick. Trying to get that ball over to first base before you catch it. And it's just one of those things. And talk to both of these managers and they will both tell you there's things that happen during the course of the game that are huge importance. And the one thing that sticks out above anything else is the outs. You can never give a team more than 27 outs. And when you do, that's usually when things go wrong.
Line to short into the glove of Javier Baez. We played 2 at Busch Stadium. It's 1-0.
Okay.
It's not the tools or the technology that breathe life into a form. We believe it's the human touch that gives it soul. So you feel our passion every time you touch it and drive it. The all-new Mazda CX-5.
It won't win a beauty contest. Might win a fishing contest. For $85, you can bring it all without spending it all. Cabela's Advanced Angler's Tackle Bag. Great price. Lifetime guarantee. Only at Cabela's.
I love how USAA gives me the peace of mind and the security just like the Marines did. At one point I did change to a different company with car insurance and I was not happy with the customer service. We have switched back over and we feel like we're back home now.
The process through USAA is so effortless that you feel like you're a part of the family.
I love that I can pass a membership to my children and that they can be protected. We're the Williams family and we're USAA members for life.
Call USAA today to talk about your insurance needs.
Whatever you're getting ready for, come into Supercuts. We pay attention to every detail and then finish with our signature hot towel, so you feel clean, sharp, and not just ready, but super ready. Save time by checking in with our mobile app or at supercuts.com.
Top of the third on Fox Sports Midwest and FS1 along with Jim Edmonds and Jim Hayes. I'm Dan McLaughlin. 1-0 our score. A 2-out RBI double by John Lester back in the top of the second as Schwarber fouls it back, and it's 0-2. Talking about guys making their debut today, that's Ian Happ who's on deck. Schwarber was the 4th overall pick, 2014 out of Indiana. Our Toyota key to the game concerning Carlos Martinez, lowest in Major League Baseball. That slugging percentage against his fastball, and it's a good one. Schwarber sends Fowler back on the edge of the track, and he makes the catch. Well, coming into play today, Carlos Martinez had topped 100 miles an hour 5 times this year, and among starters, he's in the top 3 of that category. Syndergaard, who's injured, of the New York Mets, Martinez, Garrett Cole. He has hit 98 on the gun here today. Schwarber 0 for 2, and it brings in Ian Happ. That's a good changeup for strike one.
And that changeup right there is basically what Happ sees the hitter before is 97, 98, and then you go up there and okay, now you know you got to speed up, and then you just bought yourself a changeup which you're not ready for. That fastball basically is echoing through that dugout. When every time someone looks up there and sees 97, 98, it gets everyone's attention. And so going up there, that's what you're ready for. And if you don't get it, you look like that. And that changeup can be devastating at times when you're trying to dial it up a notch.
2-1 pitch. Now 3-1. The injury bug has hit the Cubs. Ben Zobrist out with a tight back. Chris Bryant fell ill with a stomach issue. Mentioned Addison Russell in his sore right shoulder. John Jay has dealt with back spasms, and so Ian Happ was called up, and he draws a 1-out walk, and the second issued by Carlos Martinez. Anthony Rizzo batting .219. Rizzo a year ago 32 home runs, drove in 109, and 4th in the MVP race. He's now a 3-time All-Star. So 3 and 4 in this lineup have not produced to the level that they did a year ago, but you get the feeling too many big names in this lineup not to produce.
Way too talented. Slow starts are one thing, but this team is talented. It's deep, and these guys are good players. I mean, just standing next to Anthony Rizzo, just seeing how physically big he is. He can run, he can play defense, and he can hit. Now, he was hitting some balls out of the ballpark in a hurry yesterday in batting practice, so it's not a guy who's going to struggle for an entire season.
Jimmy, take a look at the stance of Rizzo and just how close he is to the plate. I'm not sure there's a player in the big leagues right now that stands as close as he does in the batter's box to the plate.
Yeah, he's right up on top of the plate. Really doesn't hang over it, being too aggressively over home plate. But what he does is he's close, and he can get the bat head out there so quick But what I really do like is every time there's a pitch near his hands, all he does is bring his hands in. He doesn't really turn. He doesn't jump back. He's very comfortable. It looks like a guy with that much body control at the plate can really see and really knows what he wants to do. And it's impressive to see him be that close and really not flinch into too many fastballs, especially up and in.
By standing that close, is he daring you to pitch him inside?
Well, what he's also doing, yes, he is. And I think not only is he daring you to pitch inside, but I think the main goal is basically to eliminate having to look outside, as everything is kind of middle into him. And it's so hard, even at the big league level, to consistently throw fastballs on the inner half for strikes, that he's basically saying, okay, I'm going to give you one in there because I know you can't do it 3 times in a row. And that's really how you have to be a successful hitter. You have to know in your own heart that you're going to get a pitch to hit in every at bat. And if you believe that when you do get that pitch, you're going to be successful with it.
Look from behind home plate. Runner goes on the 3-2, and it's taken for ball 4. Cardinals appeal on the swing. It was not ruled a swing, so back-to-back walks in the 3rd in this game by Carlos Martinez. It brings in Jeimer Candelario. At AAA Iowa, he was really hitting well. 340, 12 doubles in 28 games. What I'm thinking here is that maybe they're taking a look at Ian Happ, and did he come off the bag on the continued play? But I'm not sure he was ever tagged anyway. Home plate umpire is Bill Welke. Bruce Dreckman at first. Mike Everett, the crew chief, at second. Jordan Baker is down at third. Let's take a look here. Look to be fairly routine. Back-to-back walks by Carlos Martinez. And a strike to Candelario. Popped out to short his first time up. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You can see right here, this is a perfect example of the Carlos Martinez that we're watching kind of go through a growth spurt where he hits his stride for a few games and then he kind of gets a little inconsistent for a few games, and had a great opening day performance and then struggled a little bit for a couple of starts. It's almost if they said, okay, figure yourself through it. And then we got to be almost about 4 games. And then I think you got to hone it back in and grab a hold of him and say, hey, you're losing control, throwing too many pitches. You see he's getting a little cute here and there. If you really pay attention to him, every time he comes set, whether it be out of the stretch or the windup, he's doing something different with his body. And I think he's just really trying to get comfortable.
Doesn't get the call. 3-1.
Sometimes you'll see him when he comes down on that front foot, he'll just stop and kind of hang there without the finish. Sometimes you see right there he's falling off a little bit towards first base, so the ball's going to run towards the third base side. He just hasn't really got to the point where he knows exactly where he wants to be on every pitch.
And the 3-1 is skied into right center. Sierra makes the catch. In addition to his very good speed, Sierra also possesses a strong arm and can play all 3 outfield positions. This is where Martinez has been very good this year, including today with John Lester, who picked up a 2-out RBI double back in the 2nd. Teams are now 7 for 36 with runners in scoring position, and 3 for 16 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. And that's how you win games.
Well, that's the thing. He gets frustrated with what he did. He walked a guy, he gave up a hit, whatever, and then he bears down, gets mad, and all of a sudden you see the true ability come out, and that's the velocity, the follow through, the finish, the conviction. and you get velocity right there, 98. You start to see sharp sliders. It's not just, I'm just going to throw this guy a breaking ball because he's not looking for it. It is more like, I'm going to get this guy out no matter what, and the true Carlos Martinez will come out.
Runners at first and second. 2 outs, and it's now 2-0. LaStella base hit into right back in the second inning. The Cardinals, after the loss last night to Chicago, now 9-9 here at Busch Stadium. They've already played 10 one-run games. A lot of the games for St. Louis this year have been awfully tight. Pitching keeps them in games, and this was a team that a year ago suffered only their 13th losing campaign at home in 125 years of St. Louis Cardinals baseball.
What are the chances after 18 home games that they would have given up 68 runs and scored 68 runs?
Right. Little chopper hit to the right side, gloved there by Carpenter, and a flip to Martinez. Coming up for the St. Louis Cardinals, 7, 8, and 9. It's 1-0.
Let's go.
We're not coming out. I got this. Guys, I know being a first-time homeowner is scary, but you don't have to do this.
What if a tree falls on our garage?
What if a tornado rips off our roof? You're covered, and you bundled your home and auto insurance, so you're saving a ton. Come on, you don't want to start your new life in a dirty old truck. Hey. Sorry. You're safe. You're safe now.
Can you stop using the bullhorn?
I don't make the rules.
The moment you realize your delicates no longer look delicate.
At Lowe's, we have machines like Samsung's new Flex Wash and Flex Dry, which allow you to do 2 different types of laundry at the same time, so you can keep your clothes in great condition. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's.
Hurry into Lowe's and get 10 to 25% off select appliance special values, $3.96 or more.
As it cooks low and slow for 13 hours, the brisket marinades in its own tender brisketness. The best brisket seasoning is brisket. Arby's, we have the meats.
For high-powered looks this spring, leave the details to Men's Warehouse and our designer collections. With designer suits just $279. Plus, load up on everything else with buy one, get one free. Now at Men's Warehouse.
A naturally aspirated 5-liter V8 engine, a 10-speed direct shift transmission, a meticulously crafted interior. All of these are feats of engineering. Combining them with near-perfect weight distribution is a feat of amazing. Experience the first ever 471 horsepower Lexus LC500 or the multi-stage hybrid LC500H. Experience amazing.
All right, here we go.
3, 2, 1.
This should be fun. Rated R.
Bottom of the third, 1-0 Chicago. Now time for the unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Buster Posey ended a long game, 5 hours, 28 minutes. The walk-off home run in the 17th. Joey Gallo walk-off back-to-back nights now for Texas in that regard. And Mike Trout hit his 9th home run of the year. And a strike to Tommy Pham.
Had some long games in the league this year already. It's sort of tough on teams. 17 innings, 18 innings. The Cubs just had to play 18 innings in Colorado. I'm sorry, against the Yankees. And then followed it up with a rainout in a doubleheader in Colorado. And if that's not tough, I don't know. I mean, you can't have it any rougher than that.
After the doubleheader the next day, a day game. And they sat around for the rainout for 6 hours at the ballpark. Tommy Pham at the plate. It's Pham, Sierra, and Martinez. We're told after the Sunday night game they fly to Denver. Heads hit the pillows at 8 in the morning, and then they sit around the ballpark for 6 hours waiting for the game to get called until it was about 9:15 or so. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Out in front and yanks it foul. Another big crowd here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. A lot of red and Cubby blue in the seats. One of the great rivalries in all of sports, the Cubs and Cardinals.
A lot more mixture of blue in today. Sorry, a lot of people be able to get here for the day game, but I like that nice, colorful stands. It's neat to see the teams kind of travel well. I mean, we're used to it, right? We go on the road, you see a lot of red. You go to Milwaukee, it's all red behind the dugout. Go to Miami, I think that almost half the fans, if not more, are wearing red. You don't see that a whole lot when you're here in St. Louis, and then the Chicago fans travel pretty well.
Last year, the first time in over 100 years, these two teams did not play a weekend series at Busch Stadium. Did have it at Wrigley, but not in St. Louis. Sierra is going to get a huge ovation, the rookie who's on deck when he's introduced to the home crowd. 3-2 the count here on Tommy Pham.
Wow. Look out down there.
Righty's hitting a little better against John Lester, 268. The lefties, 206. And a tough assignment for guys like Greg Garcia and Sierra on deck. 3-2 pitch.
I was thinking about that. I don't know what I'd rather be against John Lester, right-handed or left-handed, because I know for me the cutter was so tough to hit. And I know being a right-hander against John Lester that's your main focus, and that's the one you got to worry about. At least on the left side, the ball's running away from you and you can stay with the pitch longer. The thing that happens when it's inside is you have to make the decision quicker.
And it's a leadoff walk, and it brings in Sierra here in his home debut.
Batting eighth, number 43, right fielder Magneuris Sierra.
Nice ovation for Sierra. 7 runs in 4 games that he's played in since called up from high A ball for the Cardinals. Now this is where you got to think about the bunt. Make Lester have to throw the baseball. Runner goes, pitch taken outside, throw offline into center field. And Pham on his way to third.
Tell you what, Danny, these two guys right here, so funny to watch them back to back right now, but they both came up over the course of the last week and a half, whatever. This last road trip, these guys put on a show. And you can see Tommy Pham, not only has he been hitting home runs, but he can run. And that's what speed does for you. It allows you to put pressure on the defense, and probably one of the best throwing catchers in the league, trying to rush his throw, didn't get close through the ball into the outfield.
It's shocking to me this year that's only the 5th stolen base attempt against John Lester. That's the first steal against him, and the world knows he cannot throw over to first base. But teams still don't run all that much against him. As Sierra hits it out of play, 1-2.
And the thing I like about Tommy Pham is he strikes me, knowing him a little bit, being able to be around him during spring training, he doesn't care. I love the fact we talked at breakfast where teams are scared to run on John Lester because they know he won't throw over, but guys are afraid to get a big lead and run because he's quick to the plate. They're afraid to take off and be that guy to get thrown out. Tommy Pham does not care, and then you see right now he ends up on third base with nobody out.
The 1-2 and a swing and a miss and a strikeout of Sierra. Second of the afternoon for Lester, and it brings in the pitcher Carlos Martinez.
You can see Sierra right there just really not knowing Lester very well. Not knowing what to do basically right there. All you have to really do is just try to stay on the ball and put it in play. That speed between him and Tommy Pham can make something happen. Put a ball and play to shortstop, you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to get a run somehow.
Infield is playing in for the Cubs. Chris Maloney is the Cardinals' third base coach, giving the signs to Carlos Martinez. 4 RBI game on Monday, joining his teammate Adam Wainwright, already with a 4 RBI game. The 9th spot in the Cardinals lineup has produced 26 runs, and that is first among all major league teams. National League pitchers batting 9th, and they are number 1 in the 9 spot.
Well, it's something they work on. And these guys, with Adam Wainwright taking the lead, take pride in their offensive skills, even if it's just bunting guys over, moving guys around.
Bunt is down. Lester gloves it, couldn't get it to Contreras, and all the way to second goes Carlos Martinez. And this game is tied at 1. Fifth RBI this year for Carlos Martinez.
Oh, you can see right here, you have Pham, Sierra, and now you have Martinez who can run too. Puts the ball in play. Tommy Pham does a good job at getting down the line. Credit Martinez at getting this ball down right here, but look at him run. Another good athlete can run. It's an overstated term, and it's very understated in this league. Speed can do some serious damage day in and day out in the big leagues.
And a heads-up play by Martinez to wind up at second base, infield in, all coming in on that bunt play. 1 out runner at second, and a pitch taken inside by Dexter Fowler. This is a loss for the Chicago Cubs, still searching for a leadoff man. The Cardinals get their leadoff man in Fowler. Schwarber off to the slow start. That pitch in the dirt. Last year at 276 with Chicago, was an all-star as he led off Game 7 of the World Series with a home run. A dramatic victory for the Cubs. 2 balls, no strikes on Fowler, who walked his first time up. First time this had been done in years. Leadoff home run in Game 7 of the Fall Classic. Wearing that Cubby blue, and now the Birds on the bat. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Like the demeanor that he brings to the table too, his calmness in the leadoff spot. Whether he's on or not, he's calm, takes pitches, regardless if you get on base, get a hit or not. It just looks good when your guy goes up there and just puts a good at bat together with really not a lot of craziness and not a lot of effort.
Lester frustrated with this strike zone. McDonald's has your favorite drinks to keep you cool this season. Try one today. Carlos Martinez, by the way, is tied with Jed Jerko for the most Cardinal RBIs this week. That's his 5th. Would you think about running with Carlos Martinez? You think outside the box. Some believe second base going to third is easier than first to second against Lester.
Well, it's definitely easier because he's slower to the plate now. But the thing you got to worry about with just Carlos Martinez is his attention to detail, and if he can get the jump when he's supposed to. We all know he can run and probably take the base pretty easily, but is he going to be able to focus enough to do it at the right time and do everything right to get there?
A key spot in Game 1 last night. Cardinals had runners at first and second in the 8th inning. Dexter Fowler, as he is here, was the trail runner and was picked off by Contreras. It was his 3rd pickoff of the year. 0-2 pitch to Aledmys Diaz, and a swing and a miss. You talked about it, and I know you talked to Joe Madden about Contreras. He plays with aggression, and we saw it. He'll take some chances.
He's so talented behind the plate. That arm of his is ridiculous. I mean, it is the best arm that you've seen in this league in a while. I mean, it reminds you of Yachty, but maybe a little bit stronger throwing arm. Yachty does so much right, but Contreras gets away with things because of his arm. And then last night he threw that ball away and overthrew it. And I said to Joe Madden today, I want to know about your teaching skills now. I want to know how and when do you teach with that situation that came up last night? Do you go right to him? Do you wait? Do you let him learn on his own? He says, oh no, with guys like this that are this talented and this aggressive, you go and explain it right away, and you let him know exactly what, why, and how things work. And all he did really was he just took the time right there to, I would say, in my own opinion, show off his arm when he didn't need to, and he could have cost your team a game. And that's something every outfielder goes through when he's a young kid and can throw. I mean, I did it. I threw the ball in the stands a few times, and basically saying, like, if you can't throw the ball in the money, there's no point in throwing it that hard.
Carpenter pops it up left side, and that'll find the seats out of play. Here is the throw by Contreras, one of the strongest arms in the game. This would have ended it. Colt Wong at the plate. Contreras the block. That led to a run scoring Grichuk that made it a 3-2 game. Matt Adams would come up with a chance to tie or win it and struck out, and Contreras was off the hook.
And Joe Madden also did say that he usually makes that throw and throws the ball and hits Anthony right in the chest. He said he was as much shocked that he overthrew it as that he did threw it high, because he never throws the ball like that. And you could see even in that stolen base by Pham, kind of maybe caught him off guard, but you can see the overthrow with the body, carries that ball into kind of right center field where nobody can get it.
0-2 is outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Matt Carpenter. Struck out first time up.
So really go back to what we were talking about. It doesn't matter how strong your arm is if you can't throw the ball on the money for them to tag the guy out.
For John Lester, his 8th start of the year, 2nd here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Road ERA is over 6 at Wrigley Field, 1.44. Carpenter with a fly ball out to left. Schwarber near the line, near the stands, and he dropped it. Had room off the edge of his glove, and Matt Carpenter has a life.
Just missed that. I thought at first maybe he reached out for the wall. Sometimes when you get close to that wall, you kind of lean into it a little bit prematurely, and you think, oh, it's where to go, where is it? And you take your eye off the ball for a split second, but you can't really tell with the glasses on where his eyes were. But trust me, I'm sure he knew that wall was really close.
Can Carpenter make him pay? The 1-2 pitch, and he struck him out. So Carpenter strikes out for the 2nd time, and the Cardinals get on the board. They tie it up. We have played 3 from Busch Stadium. It's 1-1.
He's hiding the card.
It's time for you and your boys to get out of town. Left foot, right foot, left foot, stop. Twitch your eyes so they think you're crazy.
If you walk the walk, you talk the talk. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico.
Hide the eyes.
It's what you do.
Show them real slow.
People will come. The one constant through all the years has been baseball.
America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers.
It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt, and erased together.
But baseball has marked the time.
This field, this game, it's part of our past.
It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again.
Oh, people will come. People will most definitely come.
Another monumental season comes to life with MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV. Catch the biggest moments from baseball's best all season long. Follow your teams, favorite players, no matter where you are. And with MLB.TV included, you can watch nearly 90 live games a week on your favorite devices. That's every milestone and miracle on the screen of your choice. Order MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV.
It's time to try something new and get big savings for your business at Vistaprint. Connect more with slim, square, or rounded corner business cards. Say more with buy, try, or Z-fold brochures. Stand out more with 6 different sizes of posters. And save more because everything is up to 40% off. Plus, take 50% off all business cards. So go to Vistaprint.com and enter Sale 40 before May 16th to try something new to impress your customers at Vistaprint.
This is Kevin Burkhardt in L.A. with a game break. Well, the Giants and Reds played 17 innings last night. Back at it early today. Brandon Belt a solo home run to get the scoring going. And then next inning, Justin Ruggiano goes yard. So it's 2-0 Giants in the fourth. Let's go back to St. Louis.
Today's game is brought to you by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Find a servicing Steel dealer at steeldealers.com or search STIHL. And by your local Volkswagen dealers. Along with 8-time Gold Glover Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is with us as well. There's a look at Cardinals outfielder Stephen Piscotty. The right fielder was hurt on the previous homestand with a hamstring issue. And the Cardinals are hoping to get him back at the end of this current homestand, which features Boston for 2. And then 3 with San Francisco. So doing a little running, a lot of baseball activities, he told me, and also lifting weights, and his return is imminent. Contreras struck out his first time up against Carlos Martinez. We're tied 1-1 here in the top of the fourth. Well, last season, the Chicago Cubs' first World Series title in 108 years. They beat the Giants, the Dodgers, and then the Indians in the World Series. And a win today would be number 1,000 regular season play for Joe Madden, manager of the Cubs. He'd be the 8th active manager to record 1,000 wins. Bruce Bochy, Dusty Baker, Mike Scioscia, been at it a long time. Buck Showalter, Terry Francona, Clint Hurdle, and Ned Yost of Kansas City. 2-2 the count. That's it on a play. You were one that was a part of some great teams with the St. Louis Cardinals, teams that won year in and year out. You know how hard it is. Through 35 games a year ago, the Cubs had a 9-game lead. So my question would be, do you believe in the following year being kind of the World Series hangover for Chicago?
I think you do a little bit. I think it's a little different, the experience, the length of time that you play over the whole year. Some of the things you go through.
Strikeout of Contreras on the check swing.
Take a look at this right here. He's so quick, you know, and by looking at that just with the naked eye, I thought, whoa, okay, that's just a normal walk. I was going to keep talking my way through it. He's just so strong and so quick. He does so many things well.
Here's Javier Baez. Hit 203 in April. And here in the month of May, 4 home runs. Average has jumped up to 318 this month. Overall came in around 250. The 1-1. That ball just exploded up and in on Javi Baez. Self-preservation with that swing.
And you said it, Danny, that ball with the velocity and the run. I mean, I think when you're a hitter, you just never know where his ball is going to end up at.
And it sets up that swing and miss. Strikeout number 5 for Martinez, 2 in the inning.
See that slider right there? I mean, you throw 97 that runs in and almost hits the hitter in the fingertips. You got to respect that a little bit. Come back with a tight slider, and really that slider with no hump. It's tough for the hitters to see it.
So 2 outs, nobody on for John Lester, who looks at strike 1. 2-out RBI double off the wall in left center. Scored Javi Baez. That made it 1-0 Chicago. The Cardinals have come back with a run of their own. And the 0-2. Two balls, two strikes. And a ground ball hit to the right side. Taken there by Greg Garcia. We head to the bottom of the fourth. We're tied at 1.
It's not easy to brew a beer this easy to drink. Bud Light is tasted by brewmasters every step of the process. It's a tough job, but for you and your friends, it's worth it. We don't just brew beer. We brew beer for friends.
Every team trains hard. Every team prepares to win. But when U.S. Army soldiers take the field, it's best if the other guys don't bother showing up. See if you have what it takes at GoArmy.com/team.
We, the device-loving people, want more than just unlimited data. We want unlimited entertainment, so we can stream unlimited action, punch unlimited robots, watch unlimited romance, if you're into that. But we also want more, like unlimited HBO.
Can I stop dying now, Mark?
No can do, mi amigo. It's unlimited. Besides, you're really good at it, James.
Don't settle for any unlimited data plan. Only the AT&T Unlimited Plus plan comes with HBO included at no extra charge.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? You make it detect what they don't.
Stop.
Sorry. You make it sense what's coming.
Watch. Mom, relax. I'm relaxed.
You make it for 16-year-olds.
Whoa.
And the parents who worry about them.
You sound right.
Going further to help make drivers better drivers.
Don't freak out on me.
That's Ford. And that's how you become America's best-selling brand.
You totaled your brand new car. Nobody's hurt, but there will still be pain. It comes when your insurance company says they'll only pay 3/4 of what it takes to replace it. What are you supposed to do, drive 3/4 of a car? Now, if you had Liberty Mutual new car replacement, you'd get your whole car back. I guess they don't want you driving around on 3 wheels. Smart.
With Liberty Mutual new car replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Today's game is brought to you by National Car Rental. Go national, go like a pro. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. And by the Bommarito Automotive Group, where price sells cars and trucks. 1-1 our score. Bottom of 4 rolls in from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The Cardinals and Cubs on both Fox Sports Midwest and FS1. Jed Jerko grounded out to third, first time up, and there's a strike. Well, times that has been a strike today, other times it has not. You can see Jerko questioning that.
Well, for Jerko too, I think when you go up there looking cutter and you get that fastball in the outer half out there around the plate, you see with that breaking ball, but sometimes your eyes deceive you and it makes it even look further outside than it actually is because you're kind of so worried about the ball in.
Here's a 1-1. It cuts back over the heart of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jerko with a fly ball out to deep left field. And the Cardinals go on top. Jed Jerko, what else? A solo home run, his 7th of the year.
I'm still in awe of this guy every time I see him hit a home run like that. He's just got so much pop. You can see he's out in front a little bit, body stayed back, and hit the ball in the barrel. Homer. Makes it look so easy some days, doesn't he?
All the home runs this year for Jed Jerko, solo home runs. A year ago, Jed Jerko hits 30 for the Cardinals. Majority of those were solo home runs. Jed was the first Cardinal since Carlos Beltran in 2012 to pop 30 or more home runs. Yadier Molina at the plate. He is fly to left. 10 for 25 against John Lester. Some of the better numbers for the Cardinals against Lester, and a base hit into right. Jerko's home run measured at 401 feet off of Lester. AARP getting to know the Cubs starter. Started the NVRQT Foundation to fight pediatric cancer. He was diagnosed with large cell lymphoma in August of 2006, returned to the mound the following year, and he helped out this guy while in Boston when Anthony Rizzo was also diagnosed with cancer. And Theo Epstein, the GM of the time, brought him to Boston to meet Lester, to talk to him, to get him through his treatments. And those two have become very close for obvious reasons. Anthony Rizzo was diagnosed with cancer in 2008. And that picture was when he was in A-ball. He had Hodgkin's lymphoma. He's done a ton of work charity-wise across the country with John Lester. Runner goes. That's Molina. Throw down to second. Not in time as the ball scoots away. So the Cardinals have their second stolen base against Lester. And the key is, Jimmy, I think you would agree, you just have to go. You can't make it a one-way lead. One-way meaning going back to first base if he's going to throw over.
A lot of guys get a big lead and probably too big of a lead to see if he'll throw over, but your first reaction is back. It's like when you're getting a jump from second or third and you want to score.
The bunt is down by Ray Garcia. Advancing to third, Molina.
And the whole idea is to be on your front foot when the ball is put in play, so you're leaning forward. Well, if you get out there too far in any situation at any base, your first reaction is of a little bit of being afraid, and you go back. You can see Yachty, he's not too big, he just gets a little bit out there and just goes. Sometimes as a runner, if you get out there so far, you're worried about the pickoff, even though he doesn't like to throw over there, and you hesitate for a split second. So if I was out there, or if I was the coach, I would be, hey, get a normal lead and just go as soon as he picks up his foot. The chances of him throwing over are about 1%. So take that chance and get the jump that you need, not the ridiculous lead and then the hesitation.
So Molina with his 50th career stolen base, which may surprise some, not noted for his speed. And what do you think about bunting here with Tommy Pham? Make Lester make a play.
I mean, if Tommy Pham is comfortable with bunting, he has got all the infield in the world to work with right here. If he can just get the ball down on the third base side of the infield, he's got an easy base hit and a run scored and an RBI.
2 balls, no strikes. They may be pitching around Pham to get to Sierra, the young high A-ball call-up for the Cardinals this past week.
Well, that doesn't surprise me at all. If you look at the lineup right there, probably a pretty good idea with Tommy Pham. Been pretty hot over this road trip, and even though Sierra too, but being a lefty, you get Sierra out, and then you just have to deal with the pitcher.
That's up the middle. Base hit for Tommy Pham. Swinging away on 3-0. Molina scores, and it's 3-1 St. Louis.
So now you're trying to wonder if he's trying to pitch around him or not. You can see that's a really good pitch, but a good job by Tommy Pham. When you're hot, you have to swing the bat there.
And the Cardinals now can cause all kinds of havoc again with Sierra at the plate. Tommy Pham has already stolen a base against Lester, and here we go.
You got to do it. It's funny how long you've been doing this job and how many times I've heard you say, I can't believe they don't run against Lester. Well, you get a chance right here. You have to take advantage. And the thing I think the key is for that is the first guy to do it shows everyone else it can be done. Just got to be aggressive and go for it. And Tommy Pham did that. Just watch for him not to get too far off there.
Big lead at first base. Yadier Molina with that 50th career stolen base, now tied with Miguel Olivo, 12th all-time steals as a catcher. First on that list, Jason Kendall, the former leadoff man, who has the most leadoff appearances of any catcher in the history of baseball. Fred Kendall, his dad played in the big leagues, and Jason, longtime Pirate. There goes Pham. Contreras from his knees, and he got him. Another dynamic to this too. Remember, David Ross, who's now on Dancing with the Stars, was the personal catcher for John Lester, and you've got Contreras behind the plate now, and you know that's something to keep in mind too, trying to be comfortable with your new battery mate.
Well, I mean, take a look at that play right there, and what they just did right there is John Lester basically got the ball to the plate as quick as possible, and then you can see Wilson Contreras didn't even stand up, threw from a knee and threw a perfect strike. But that's the kind of thing that they're going to have to do in order to keep those guys from running. You can't do that every time. Just that pitch right there in particular, I guarantee you they were under what needed to be under in order to throw somebody out, because that was lightning fast from John Lester and even more from the catcher and Wilson Contreras.
Outfield very shallow. Third baseman way in on the grass. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. In the dirt. If Sierra puts one over an outfielder's head, it's a triple, and who knows, maybe more. This young man can fly. The 3-2 pitch. Sierra, base hit into center. 1 for 2 today. So that's 4 hits in the inning off of John Lester.
Good adjustment by Sierra right there. Body's still flying out a little bit, but he didn't take that big swing, and making sure right there he gets a strike to swing at instead of swinging at those nasty sliders down and away.
Chris Bosio, longtime pitching coach with the Chicago Cubs, out to visit. And while we have a moment, we remind you the best seats at every ballpark for every game. Visit MLB.com/tickets today. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, a packed house for the Cubs and Cardinals. 80 degrees our temperature. Along with Jim Edmonds, an 8-time Gold Glover, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes, third member of our broadcast crew, as we come your way on Fox Sports Midwest and FS1.
Basically, I think Chris Bosio went out there to give him a breather. There was a lot going on in that inning, mentally and physically. A lot of pitches. He's already up to 73 here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and that's a taxing
and
5
20
hitters.
of those 73 have been here in the bottom of the 4th. Sierra, a huge lead at first base. There he goes. Lester steps off. Now in a rundown, and Rizzo will tag him out. So Sierra is picked off, leaving Martinez at the plate. Big inning though for the Cardinals. They have a 2-run lead.
Viagra single packs, so guys with ED can take Viagra when they need it. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra single packs.
Right now at McDonald's, get any small McCafe, frappe, smoothie, or shake for just $2. $2? I mean, how do you top a delicious, delectable, gotta have it now deal like that? Oh yes, of course. That's how. And to top that off, every 6 McCafe beverage is free with our app. Only at McDonald's.
A naturally aspirated 5-liter V8 engine, a 10-speed direct shift transmission, a meticulously crafted interior. All of these are feats of engineering. Combining them with near-perfect weight distribution is a feat of amazing. Experience the first-ever 471 horsepower Lexus LC500 or the multi-stage hybrid LC500H. Experience amazing.
Hey.
Kevin Harvick.
Changing your oil after 3,000 miles?
Yes.
If you'd used new Mobil 1 annual protection, you wouldn't have to. It protects your engine for 1 year with just 1 oil change.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
Can I ask you a question? Why are you 3 inches tall?
Why aren't you 3 inches tall?
Don't change your oil. New Mobil 1 annual protection. Available at these locations.
It's a lifeless object, but in the right hands. Yankees versus Royals, Thursday at 7 Eastern on FS1.
We saw last night Brett Cecil again ineffective. Late innings for the Cardinals. St. Louis trying to change it up with him. With more on that, let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, the Cardinals signed Cecil in part to get out left-handed hitters, and he's struggled. Cecil gave up a homer to the left-handed hitting Tommy LaStella last night in the 7th. For the season, lefties are hitting .464 against Cecil with 3 home runs. Cecil told me he knows the problem. It's mechanical. He's flying open, and he's not staying back on his pitches. He told me he's just having trouble making the corrections. He was brutally honest talking before the game. He told me, I'd say it's more embarrassing than anything. I know I have a good track record. Obviously, I know I can get guys out. And these are struggles I have dealt with before. But coming to a new team, no one knows you. It feels embarrassing. Dan, Mike Matheny says it's confidence. He says Cecil just needs to string a few good outings together to get that confidence back.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. Ground out there by Almora. Back to the top of the lineup here for Chicago. And Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber is 0 for 2. He was signed by scout Scott Zielinski, and that scout was asked if there was anything that stood out about Schwarber. He said his freshman year, he's batting second at Indiana, very good team out of the Big Ten. And he said with a young player, you don't normally see a true freshman batting at the top of the lineup or second in the lineup. And that's when we started to really pay attention to the young man who was a terrific football player in high school, Kyle Schwarber. Here's a 2-1 pitch. 2-2. And the shift is on here for Schwarber. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now time is called. Really remarkable to see him come back in postseason play. Was 7 for 17 in the World Series after tearing his ACL in Game 2 of the regular season against Arizona. Three-2 pitch, fouled back.
If you look at Carlos Martinez, I think the thing he struggles the most with it. Watch his follow through. There. 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 This is the consistency that you need. And then there. that's kind of what I've been talking about with him trying to be more consistent. It seems like he's just kind of doing things on a whim during the course of a game. And most of those pitches, or if not all those pitches we just showed the follow through with, are all balls. And then you can see when he gets angry and he gets a little frustrated when he comes out and he'll start throwing a little bit harder. It forces him to get his mechanics back in line and throw the ball and finish with a good finish with the leg come through and everything going towards the plate. That other stuff I think is just playful, and he's really not getting the job done.
So 1 out runner at first, and a big swing and a miss by Ian Happ in his major league debut, playing right field. Called out on strikes back in the first and walked in the third. Martinez has walked 4 and allowed a total of 2 base hits. The 0-1. So it's been a matter of consistency, not only today with that delivery, but you think about the career of Carlos Martinez. And prior to this season, signed a 5-year extension, and the Cardinals really believe he's a pitcher you build around.
I mean, the stuff is there. He's just got to get it focused in and be consistent day in and day out.
Here's a 1-1. Martinez, by the way, is taking the place of Michael Wacha. It was his turn in the rotation. He deals with, as many of you know, a lot of shoulder issues. Isn't hurt, but they want to push him back, keep him as healthy as they can. Off the glove of Carpenter and into shallow right. What could have been a double play ball turns out now to be runners at the corners, and the dangerous Anthony Rizzo digging in. It's going to be an error on Carpenter, his 5th. So Happ does not get his first major league hit. You can see Matt was almost thinking a little ahead before the glove. You get this, it turns into 2 more than likely.
At first I didn't think that should be an error, but if you look at it again and you ask Matt Carpenter, he'd tell you should have caught that ball thrown to second base and probably had a chance to turn 2. But
and so now Rizzo walked twice and a chance to do some damage here for the Cubs. Runners at first and third. And again for the Cardinals, one of the storylines of their season has been poor defense at times. And today, a missed double play opportunity back in the second. That would have ended the inning. Instead, it extended it to John Lester. He doubled with 2 outs. That scored a run. And Martinez very well could be out of this inning. The 0-1. Back to Martinez. Underhands to second. No throw, and a run does score. And they're going to call. They will call obstruction on that play. It'll be obstruction on Ian Happ, the runner at second base.
And you can see why this rule I'm not a big fan of. Slides through the bag like you've been taught your whole life, and it's a double play ball and you're out of the inning and you lost the run.
Non-reviewable plays are obstruction and interference. So even if he wanted to replay this and take a look at and review it, he cannot.
Well, the funny thing is, Joe's probably just arguing the fact that he didn't really do anything that aggressive, but the rule is the rule. You can't slide past the bag. You can't go out of your way to break up a double play, and there it is. I mean, Joe's probably frustrated. He wants to see it. It doesn't matter if you see it. It's plain as day.
And what a big call that is. I do not believe, though, that this would be a reviewable play, but yet they're going to check with New York.
I mean, the way the rule is stated, he cannot slide past the bag.
So what is reviewable, though, is the slide rule. So in double play attempts, they can review this. So they've called this the slide rule. This is not interference or obstruction.
I've watched a few games this year, and I've seen a lot less be called double plays than this slide right here.
What has to happen, too, in this spot is that the umpires, the on-field crew, they must determine a double play attempt with this type of play, which is, by the way, reviewable. Interference, obstruction is not. Regardless, the Cardinals do get one out of it. And what will this be? Out there. Out there. And the run does not count. The call stands. Joe Madden is hot. You were talking about it earlier. You hate this play.
Especially frustrating when you're on the wrong side of it, too.
Look. This is the new house we just bought. It's where Daddy will make his famous waffles. If you have a bad dream, you can come to our room. Your mama snores. This is where you'll play and get grass stains in all your clothes. Look, it's already worth more. High five. Thank you. There it is. Yeah.
You're not just looking for a house. You're looking for a place for your life to happen. Zillow.
For adults with advanced non-small cell lung cancer, previously treated with platinum-based chemotherapy, including those with an abnormal ALK or EGFR gene who've tried an FDA-approved targeted therapy, this is big. A chance to live longer. With Opdivo, nivolumab. Opdivo demonstrated longer life and is the most prescribed immunotherapy for these patients. Opdivo significantly increased the chance of living longer versus chemotherapy. Opdivo works with your immune system. Opdivo can cause your immune system to attack normal organs and tissues in your body and affect how they work. This may happen anytime during or after treatment has ended and may become serious and lead to death. See your doctor right away if you experience new or worsening cough, chest pain, shortness of breath, diarrhea, severe stomach pain or tenderness, severe nausea or vomiting, extreme fatigue, constipation, excessive thirst or urine, swollen ankles, loss of appetite, rash, itching, headache, confusion, hallucinations, muscle or joint pain, flushing, fever, or weakness, as this may keep these problems from becoming more serious. These are not all the possible side effects of Opdivo. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions, including immune system problems, or if you've had an organ transplant or lung, breathing, or liver problems. A chance to live longer. Ask your doctor about Opdivo. See OpdivoTV.com for this and other indications. Bristol Myers Squibb thanks the patients, nurses, and physicians involved in Opdivo clinical trials.
Understandably so. Joe Madden is hot. Still in that commercial break, and Martinez showing bunt. Rips it into left, and he's thinking too. The throw by Schwarber is offline. So a leadoff double by Carlos Martinez, making a difference at the plate this week in back-to-back starts, his second hit. We had the bunt and an RBI back in the third, and now this leadoff double against John Lester.
Danny, this shows you right here. This is some kind of athletic young man, but if I'm Mike Matheny, I do not want to see my ace sliding head first.
No, sir.
Into second base.
So runner at second, and now Dexter Fowler.
This is a pretty good slide here by this young man, Carlos Martinez. But as we saw earlier in the year, with Dexter Fowler going after the fly ball and landing on his shoulder and injuring himself, I don't think you want your starters doing this.
Here's the 0-1. Well, there's 50 million plus reasons as to why you don't want him to slide head first.
Why they have insurance policies on that contract. I mean, what are you going to do but laugh at that? I guarantee you Matheny will say something to him after the game. Either not, the pitching coach, Lily will talk to him.
Or the GM or the owner.
Yeah. He might, Mr. DeWitt might walk down there for that one.
It's a ball and 2 strikes. Dexter Fowler has walked twice. Here's a 1-2 and a swing and a miss.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was just calling down right now. Hey, can somebody go tell him before he runs out there to pitch again?
For those
no
that don't know, that's
slides.
Cardinals general manager John Mozeliak. Strikeout number 5 for Lester. Here's Diaz, who is grounded into a double play. 6-4-3. Also struck out. The Cardinals shortstop. Just to finish the story about John Lester and going through cancer, happened in August of 2006. Returned to the mound the following year. He starts his foundation, NVRQT, short for Never Quit, fundraising campaign to support kids in their battle against cancer. He said 2 things happened for him in recovering from his cancer diagnosis. 1, he became closer to his parents. He said, I didn't realize how much my parents loved me. And he said, 2, I met my wife. He was coming back through the minor leagues and met his wife in Greenville, South Carolina. He said those 2 things, you know, clearly baseball is on the back burner. Life takes on different meaning, and he's helped out a lot of kids. Anthony Rizzo, by the way, just recently, his foundation donated $3.5 million to a pediatric center in Chicago. And a foul ball.
I mean, definitely an inspirational story. I mean, think about that. You talk about that. Kids that are watching at home, or somebody sitting in a hospital bed. If you have cancer and you're going through something like that, and you see a guy out there on the mound that's had the same thing you have, anything is possible.
I just think that we so much look at the negative in sports today, things that happen off the field. We don't highlight enough those that are in sports, and in particular in uniform, that are making a difference in their communities, and really in this case nationwide, as Diaz had that foul ball, looked to be off his ankle or his foot. Cardinals training staff taking a look at him.
Up the shin.
Anytime I see that, I think of Todd Hollandsworth, which is a player that had time in Chicago, was a former Rookie of the Year with the LA Dodgers, but he dealt with a broken shin and a broken leg and played through it, didn't know it. He's kind of the poster child for that particular foul ball.
Yeah, those are not fun, and it's been a while since you played, but I'm sure you remember how that feels. Those are still fresh in my mind, I'm telling you. I had one in the playoffs that swelled up almost as big as half of the baseball, and yet you just got to keep on going out there and try to do everything you can in that kind of pain.
Outside. Usually that next pitch is down and in. You want to swing at it? Good luck.
And for sure you're going to have to run hard to first base.
The 2-2 pitch to the Cardinals shortstop. And another foul ball. Play ball is Major League Baseball's initiative to inspire all forms of baseball and softball participation, making play opportunities available and fun for everyone. To learn more, go to playball.org.
Talk about that cutter, Danny, and the fear of that cutter, and especially now that you've hit a ball off the shin, will create that swing that we just saw on the ball out over the plate. He's thinking inside. He's worried about the inside pitch, and we could see kind of bailing out and trying to deal with the outside fastball or cutter too.
The 2-2 pitch. Kept in front by Contreras. Well, John Lester is coming off a start on Sunday against the Yankees. 7 innings. He struck out a season-high 9. Took a no decision ball game that lasted 18 innings. He's thrown at least 100 pitches in every start, and his last start was 123, trying to bounce back today.
I think he's been good today. I mean, his velocity's been in the 94 area, been a few 93s, and I think he's been sharp. I don't think that there's any kind of hangover, so to speak, from that last start, and that was something that I was going to point out and look for, but it quickly went away as soon as he started pitching. He looked like he was ready to go.
Full count on Aledmys Diaz, an all-star a year ago for St. Louis. (3-2). Popped up and out of play. Mike Montgomery, who battled for the number 5 spot in the rotation for the Cubs, eventually won by Brett Anderson, is getting loose in their pen, a left-hander. No activity for the St. Louis Cardinals. Pulled foul. Thursday on FS1, it's a battle of the power hitters. Aaron Judge and the Yankees take on Eric Hosmer and the Royals. Coverage begins Thursday, 7 Eastern on FS1. It's baseball today on FS1 and Fox Sports Midwest. Jim Edmonds, Dan McLaughlin with you in the booth. Jim Hayes, third member of our broadcast crew. Big gap in left center for the Cardinals shortstop. The 3-2 pitch again by John Lester. Pulled foul. Give Lester a lot of credit. For the most part, he does not become unnerved with base runners on. And you'd think, well, here's a guy that is shown he's not going to throw over to first, throw around the diamond, and yet he's putting up wins every single year. (3-2) again. Wow. This will be pitch number 12 upcoming.
How does that ball just go into that area in the dugout 2 in a row and just find an empty wall? That ball's hit so hard, there's no chance anyone can move and get out of the way. You said that the important thing, I think, with Lester, though, too, is he doesn't get rattled when guys are on base. He keeps making a pitch. I would imagine he's probably just looking through the base runner by this point in his career and just keeps making pitches after pitch after pitch after pitch.
3-2 again. And he wins the battle. Strikes out Diaz, and his 6th strikeout on the afternoon. Look at the Chevy Fox tracks. We could hear it up here. Diaz saying that ball is down, and it catches the bottom of the zone.
Yeah, and I think maybe he thought that ball was down, but also you got to remember he's a shortstop, so he's seeing on defense the strike zone also, and so you don't know whether he thinks it's down because he just doesn't want it to be a strike, or he's been watching some pitches on defense down in that area not be called strike. So that's tough. It used to happen as a center fielder. It would frustrate me to watch the umpire not give the strike zone I was hoping for, and then sometimes have that when I was hitting.
So 2 outs, runner at second base for Matt Carpenter. He is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. And there's strike 1. 30 really has been the magic number for Lester and the Cubs. Chicago, they have had 4 starting pitchers make 30 or more starts in a season just 6 times since 1901. But it includes 2 of the 6 the last 2 years. Lester, Kyle Hendricks, Jake Arrieta, who throws tomorrow, Jason Hamill, so it's no coincidence. The starters give them 30 starts. They've made the playoffs those 2 years.
And those 30 starts mean your starters are healthy all year long.
The original starting 5 a season ago made 98% of the starts. So the only time that you had somebody jump into that rotation was part of a doubleheader. That was it. They were healthy, and a terrific 5 that they put out. Here's a 1-1. The starter's ERA through 35 games was 2.26. Joe Madden talked about this the other day. He said you can't overlook what our starters did a year ago in taking the ball every 5th day. And this season, 4.41.
I mean, even that team ERA is ridiculous. Mid-2s. But like I said, you have your horses out there day in and day out. It says so much about your team. Gives so much pressure, takes so much pressure off your bullpen. It gives you that. I mean, it's like the guys they have on their roster last year and how they pitched. It's like running an ace out there every day. And so that just gives so much more confidence to the entire team, knowing that all you have to do is really go out there, relax, put a run up here and there, and you're going to win a game. And that's basically what they did last year.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Carlos Martinez, your runner at second base. And a strikeout of Matt Carpenter. After the double by Martinez, he strikes out the side.
Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these.
Is this my car? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Ah!
From car insurance to car loans, State Farm is here to help life go right.
For high-powered looks this spring, leave the details to Men's Warehouse and our designer collections. With designer suits just $279. Plus, load up on everything else with buy one, get one free. Now at Men's Warehouse.
Thanks for doing this, Dad.
So I thought it might be time to talk about a financial strategy.
You mean pay him back?
So let's start talking about your long-term goals.
Knowing your future is about more than just you. It's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing.
As it cooks low and slow for 13 hours, the brisket marinades in its own tender brisketness. The best brisket seasoning is brisket. Arby's, we have the meats.
Just press clean and let Roomba from iRobot help with your everyday messes. Roomba navigates your entire home, cleaning up pet hair and debris for up to 2 hours, which means your floors are always clean. You and Roomba from iRobot, better together.
All right, here we go.
3, 2, 1. We are company! Space!
Holy, this should be fun. Rated R.
Just press clean and let Roomba from iRobot help with your everyday messes. Roomba navigates your entire home, cleaning up pet hair and debris for up to 2 hours, which means your floors are always clean. You and Roomba from iRobot, better together.
St. Louis Cardinals baseball is presented by Bud Light, famous among friends, and by Ford. Since May 2nd, Arquilla in the driver's seat. Carlos Martinez, he's picked things up, did not win a game in the month of April. And since the 2nd of May, 18 1/3 and just 4 earned runs allowed and a 1.96 ERA. That also includes today. Well, Martinez, something to keep in mind, had to stand at second base for 12 minutes after his double.
Going to be exhausted.
He'll be exhausted. Here's Candelario. And a swing and a miss. He's 0 for 2 today. Popped out to short, also flied out to right. When you think about it, a real key moment in this game is top of 5 and a double play that ends the threat for the Cubs on the slide rule at second base. It took a run away. ended an inning, ended a threat. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. 6 strikeouts for Carlos Martinez. If you're just joining us on FS1 and Fox Sports Midwest, here it is, the State Farm double play. Egregious slide by Happ, making his major league debut. He's called out, and it turns out to be a double play.
And you could see right there, the second base umpire, Mike Everett, was saying he went past the bag, and so we've got a lot of things to talk about, and obviously Joe Madden is not happy about that, but that's a tough way to take a run off the board.
1-0 pitch to Tommy La Stella. Now 1 ball and 1 strike. He is singled to right, also grounded to first. 2 runners on, back in the 3rd. A tight slider for strike 2.
That kind of goes back to what we were talking about last week with the play at the plate and having protected catchers. I think you just bear down and make the fines a little bit more stiffer and more harsh for a penalty when you go out of your way to hurt somebody or go out of your way after somebody, and then just kind of keep the game the way it's supposed to be played. Allow people to break up the double play, but when they veer off to intent to hurt someone, then you got to come down and hammer them.
Good changeup down in the zone by Martinez. Strikeout number 7.
Another really good changeup just to add to that repertoire of pitches. I mean, like I said, get up to 100, 101. Good changeup, good slider.
So 87 pitches this afternoon. Cardinals will have Jed Jerko, Yadier Molina, Greg Garcia looking ahead to the bottom of the 6th. 2 outs and nobody on, and a little tap route in front of the plate. Martinez throws high and safe at first. Molina may be a little frustrated there with Martinez, thinking that he should have taken that ball.
Well, definitely is safe there, but you're right. I think Molina had a beat on it, and he's used to making that play. And you know, Carlos being a super athletic pitcher, maybe if he just catches that ball and throws it over there instead of jumping and throwing and getting out of control, might have a better chance.
We also have Molina facing Carpenter. Momentum going up the first base line. Extends the inning to Javi Baez. With 2 outs and a runner at first, he represents the tying run. And a ground ball that's hit to short. Force play at second. We head to the bottom of the 6th here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, and the Cardinals lead the Cubs 3-1.
For sale, Lakeside Getaway, solid construction with mudroom for $200. No mortgage necessary. Cabela's West Wind Dome Tent. Great price. Lifetime guarantee. Only at Cabela's.
Cricket has something epic for you. Our plans start at only $30 a month. We've got more 4G LTE coverage than T-Mobile or Sprint. Plus, switch now and get a brand new smartphone for free. Cricket Wireless, something to smile about.
Hey, curly-haired man.
Hey.
You're going to want to sit down for this. Because you can get a large 2-topping Pizza Hut pizza for $7.99 delivered. And with the new Pizza Hut delivery tracker, we'll text you when your order's on the way. The best pizza delivery deal. Now easier to track.
This is not another 18-blade razor. Because this is one blade from Philips Norelco. A blade for beards and stubble. Shape and shave any length and be your best you with one blade from Philips Norelco. Innovation and you. Philips Norelco.
What are you doing? It's 11 p.m.
I can explain.
You should be out there disappointing your father. I need to clean this place up.
Gloopy. Bad judgment and gloopy. Hunger keeps inventing new problems, so we invented Snickers Crisper.
See that? That's teamwork. like cookies and brownies coming together to form Brookies and this Guardian's awesome mix blizzard. Hey, Jen, that's enough. Star-Lord's clean.
What?
The new DQ Guardians Awesome Mix Blizzard. See the film May 5th.
A naturally aspirated 5-liter V8 engine. A 10-speed direct shift transmission. A meticulously crafted interior. All of these are feats of engineering. Combining them with near-perfect weight distribution is a feat of amazing. Experience the first ever 471 horsepower Lexus LC500 or the multi-stage hybrid LC500H. Experience amazing.
St. Louis Cardinals lead the Chicago Cubs 3-1. They've out-hit Chicago 6-3. One of those hits off the bat of Jed Jerko, our Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Into the Cubs bullpen, home run number 7 for Jerko. He has driven in 18. Lester pitching into the 6th. Look at the movement on that pitch by John Lester.
I was just thinking about that because you saw where the catcher was set up. He was set up outside, probably trying to go around the plate, catch the edge, stay away from Jed's bat like that. Just gets so much run and cut to that ball.
For fans that don't know what a cutter is, you know, can you try to explain it? And is it different that much, in your opinion, to the slider?
It really is just a little bit of a fastball, and Izzy tried to teach me it one day. You really just put your thumb underneath the ball and you're kind of throwing a fastball, forcing fastball like a football, and you're just trying to get it to spin a little sideways, and what the ball does, it just grabs the air and runs across the zone. A slider, you have a little bit different grip and you're trying to actually get it to spin and spin it across the zone. But the thing is, the guys like this, they kind of throw one and mix it with the other, so it's like the little cutter turns into the little bit bigger cutter or a smaller slider, and when you're this good, you can change your grip and then you can throw either one with any kind of velocity or movement.
Strikeout number 8 for Lester. Go back to the first pitch of this at bat with Jed Jerko and take a look at the movement from John Lester.
And sometimes, like in that situation, you can even get a little on the side of the cutter or of the slider. And I'm sure that's more of a get me over because you can see it was kind of flat. They don't really want that ball to ride across the zone. They want it to go down. And if you get on the side of it, it will run across and will break a lot more.
Molina is 1 for 2 today. Base hit into right. And stolen base number 50 of his career. 1 ball and 1 strike. Lester signed a 6-year deal with the Cubs. Many believed around baseball he was headed back to Boston. Theo Epstein convinced him that the Cubs were on the rise and he could be a big part of it. And since his arrival, they've been to the NLCS twice and have a World Series championship. One-two pitch. With the 3 o'clock starts, and especially a little bit later in the summer, but you do see the shadows become a factor at the plate, and also it becomes a tough sun field for a right fielder.
You can see that shadow right there. Really not super affected right now by the way the sun's setting, but it is a little difficult. The farther the shadow moves out, the longer the ball's in the shadow, the harder it is to pick up. But when it's just the last second, you've already tracked it all the way to the plate, and it's just that last 10 or 15 feet is not as bad. Yachty not liking that pitch at all. I'm telling you, these guys are just super confused of where the strike zone is today, and it's made it hard on everyone, including hitters and pitchers. So that's why I said, and we talked about this in the first, second inning, this is going to be an interesting day to see how the strike zone plays out.
So Lester now has struck out 5 in a row, a total of 9 in this game. Greg Garcia is lined out. He is also sacrificed. The 0-1 pitch.
Back to the shadows. Sometimes the shadow is really bad when everyone's in the shade except for the backdrop. When the backdrop gets dark, that's when the ball comes back into play. It's not really where the shadow is across the infield there. It's when the pitcher's in this shadow, all the way in the shadow, and the backdrop is bright. That's when it's impossible to see.
Here's a 1-1.
I feel like when the pitcher's still in the sun and you have a little shadow there, you're okay because you're tracking the ball, like I said, most of the way. It's when everything is like that and that backdrop is you lose the ball completely.
2-1 pitch. 2-2. MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Visit MLB.TV for details. The 2-2. And Lester again glaring back into the home plate umpire a couple of times in this inning alone, shaking his head. And a 3-2 pitch. And instead time is called. 110 the pitch count for Lester. This will be his final inning. He is due up first for the Cubs, looking ahead to the top of the 7th. 3-2. So he's thrown at least 100 pitches in every start this year.
I think that's something over the years that guys are making good pitchers do more of his throw pitches. If you're going to go out there after a guy like this and swing at his pitch, you got no chance. So you have to be a little bit more patient, and you really have to have a game plan where you're going to take a good at bat whether you're out or not, but as long as you stay consistent, you're going to buy yourself a pitch to hit.
Up and in, and it's ball 4 and a walk to Garcia. So Lester has struck out 9. He's now walked 4. Pedro Strop, the right-hander, had been throwing in the Cubs pen. Joe Madden, by the way, did motion to the bullpen. That'll be it for John Lester. It's our Chevy call to the pen. And Pedro Strop will come on for the Cubs when we come back.
Whether it's anniversary night or just another weeknight, there's Viagra single packs for guys with ED.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra single packs.
You do know the experts at Midas will tell you when he's fixing now and what can wait, right? Like, I don't know, brakes?
Of course I do. Get up to $100 back on a 2-axle brake service with your Midas credit card. Now at Midas.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? You make it detect what they don't.
Stop.
Sorry. You make it sense what's coming.
Watch. Mom, relax. I'm relaxed.
You make it for 16-year-olds.
Whoa.
And the parents who worry about them.
You sound right.
Going further to help make drivers better drivers.
Don't freak out on me.
That's Ford. And that's how you become America's best-selling brand.
Cut from the core of the finest American maple. Shaped on the turn of the lathe. Sanded and tempered by flame. In the right hands, it assumes the will of the man. Yankees versus Royals. Coverage begins Thursday at 7 Eastern on FS1. Available in Spanish on Fox Deportes.
Famous day in St. Louis Cardinals history involving both these teams at Wrigley Field, May 13th, 1958. Stan the Man, Stan Musial, with hit number 3,000. The Cardinals were trying to hold him back, but they used him as a pinch hitter. They were going to St. Louis the next day. They wanted him to do it in front of the home fans, and instead he delivered with that pinch hit. 3,000 hits that day for Stan Musial. Here's Tommy Pham, runner at first base. 3-1 our score. Pedro Strop, originally signed by the Rockies as a shortstop in 2002. Then in 2006 he switched to pitching. Eventually released, signed with Texas. Made his major league debut in 2009. Then was traded to Baltimore. And then the Cubs picked him up along with Jake Arrieta, one of the great deals for the Cubs in recent history. Pedro Strop and Arrieta in the same deal. It's off the end of the bat, little squibber foul. The Hyundai pitch arsenal on Strop. Very good slider. Throws it about 37% of the time, and a good fastball. The 2-2 pitch. John Lester lifted in this game. Tied his season high with 9 strikeouts. And he has 18 over his last 2 starts, 12 2/3. And with 2 outs, full count, Rizzo backing up behind Greg Garcia. Pham has been on base twice with a RBI single and a walk. And he chops it foul. Well, Derek Jeter getting his iconic number 2 retired tomorrow for the Yankees. An appropriate look at the players who collected 3,000 hits with only one team. Stan the Man, Derek Jeter, Carl Yastrzemski, Cal Ripken Jr., and the great George Brett. There are 10 total, but those are the top 5. There goes Garcia. And the pitch is drilled out to right center field. And it's over Almora. Garcia will score. Pham to second. And this makes it a 4-1 St. Louis lead.
Another good at bat by Tommy Pham. Been doing so well. All this set up by him taking some really good pitches for balls earlier in the count. See a good swing, and then Garcia on the run. Now as a hitter, you're just hoping that ball doesn't bounce into the stands for a ground rule double and take that RBI away, but obviously did not, and another run on the board.
Closes the book on John Lester, 5 2/3, 4 runs on 6 hits, 9 strikeouts, 4 walks, and the home run hit by Jerko. When Stan the Man collected hit number 3,000, he was only the 8th player in history to accomplish that feat. Since then, 22 players have joined the 3,000 hit club. The latest is Ichiro. The next to join that club more than likely will be Adrian Beltre. He's 58 hits shy. And then Albert Pujols. Only 7 active players even have 2,000 hits. That's pulled foul by Sierra. Single to center back in the 4th and was picked off by Lester. He also struck out. Runner at second is Tommy Pham. Outfield shallow for Magneuris Sierra. Sierra, base hit into center. Here comes Pham. And a 2-hit day for the rookie Magneuris Sierra.
A good job by Sierra, just staying under control and putting the ball in play. If he comes up with this play right here as a backhand or a dive, there's no chance of getting Sierra at first base, and Like I said, making the adjustment after the first at bat against Leicester and really just calming down, slowing the game down a little bit, and having a much easier and better swing. Next thing you know, he's got 2 hits.
And an infusion of youth, excitement, speed. You've been talking about it. He, along with Pham, have been big for the Cardinals.
Just a big, big shot in the arm for these guys. They were struggling a little bit, weren't scoring a lot of runs, getting pitching. But these 2 guys came up and really, really gave them a spark.
Ground ball that's hit to third off the bat of Carlos Martinez. A pair of 2-out hit and RBIs. One by Pham, the other Sierra. It's 5-1.
For high-powered looks this spring, leave the details to Men's Warehouse and our designer collections. With designer suits just $279. Plus, load up on everything else with buy one, get one free. Now at Men's Warehouse.
Superman's behind bars. I am Brainiac. How do I beat him? You can't.
Ready for some slapstick?
Into the jungle. Earth's time is up.
Injustice 2. Play anywhere May 16th. Rated T for teen.
This is Rosenberg. He loves taking pictures. And with Sprint's unlimited plan, we can post whenever we want.
Lease a Samsung Galaxy S8 and get a Galaxy S7 Edge lease on us. That's 2 Galaxies for the price of 1. Plus, get unlimited $30 per month per line for 4 lines. And now your 5th line is free.
To the friends who never back out. The ones who say hell yeah to happy hour. Always up for another round. TGI Fridays gives you endless apps. Forever. Always endless apps. $10.
Attention parents of children with cerebral palsy. If you suspect a medical mistake may have occurred at or near the time of birth, call Science and Kirk for a free legal consultation.
Call 1-800-336-5513. That's 1-800-336-5513.
You're here to buy a used car, truck, SUV. That's smart. TrueCar can help. It's great for finding a new car, but you already knew that. It's also great for finding the perfect used car. You'll see what a fair price is, and you can connect with a TrueCar certified dealer. So no matter what you're looking for, there it is. This is how buying a used car should be. This is TrueCar.
Thursday on FS1. It's a lifeless object, but in the right hands, it assumes the will of the man. Yankees versus Royals. Coverage begins Thursday at 7 Eastern on FS1.
Tonight, the only place to see NASCAR is on FS1 as Monster Energy Series goes to Kansas in the Go Bowling 400. Green flag drops at 7 Eastern, only on FS1. Tommy Pham with the RBI double with 2 outs. That made it 4-1. Then Sierra on the right. Single to center, and he picked up his first ever Major League RBI.
You know, Sierra said that he felt really comfortable coming up to the big leagues. I thought it was a very unique situation for him. 2 years ago, I think he was only 19 years old, and he came up and so quiet and so dynamic that everyone fell in love with him instantly. You know, when you get a guy like, let's just say Bryce Harper, random person, right? He comes up to the big leagues and everyone expects him to be so good that he kind of just slides into the locker room. No one says anything. This kid comes up, everyone wants him to do well.
Here's Addison Russell. He'll pinch hit for Pedro Strop. Kubota power stats, most RBIs by pinch hitters. LA with 15, Washington 13, Chicago at 11. Russell is only 23 years of age. What a player he is. Loved by his counterpart at short. And that's the first out here in the 7th. So for the Cardinals, Carlos Martinez, he has walked 4, he has struck out 7. And coming into play here in the 7th inning, he's allowed just a total of 3 hits. Brings in Almora, who is 0 for 2. He struck out and also grounded out to short. We mentioned how the Cubs love this young man. They think he's going to be a star. In particular, defensively. Former first-round pick, 6th overall in 2012. He split some time in the outfield with Hayward in center, also John Jay. You have Jay, who's 32, Almora is 22, and the two are best of friends. They work out together down in Miami, along with Manny Machado and Yonder Alonso. They're very, very close. A season ago in 47 games, hit .277. Lines it into right. Sierra diving for it, gets past him. Fowler backing up. Almora to second base, and he'll stop there.
Gonna like the effort right there. 5-1 ball game. I like the fact that he goes after this. I'd really like to see the fact that if he thinks he's going to come up just a little bit short, instead of staying with it and trying to still catch it, to really put that glove down and just knock it down. That's something you learn as it goes, but I think he truly believes he's going to catch that ball when he goes after it, and I love that fact that he will go after that ball. Hate to see that ball just fall in and nobody try for it.
Wasn't a great jump. We talked about the Sun Field here in right at this time of day at Busch Stadium. Ground ball sharply hit right side by Kyle Schwarber. And that is out number 2. Schwarber hitless in this series, 0 for 3 today with a walk. And the batter will be Ian Happ. His major league debut, much anticipated for the Chicago Cubs. At the time, a controversial key play was back in the 5th. He was running from first to second, and the slide rule, interpreted by the second base umpire Mike Everett, went against the Cubs. Automatic double play. It's a fly ball out to deep right. Sierra back, and Happ has his first major league hit, and it's a 2-run homer.
Here you go. Joe Madden said to keep your eye on this young man today, and he gets himself a changeup, and he gets extended, one hand, hit the barrel. That's a pretty good swing right there. You can see why they're excited to have him on this team.
That'll be it for Carlos Martinez. He will exit. Matt Bowman, our Chevy, called to the pen, and a nice round of ovation here at home for number 18.
As it cooks low and slow for 13 hours, the brisket marinades in its own tender brisketness. The best brisket seasoning is brisket. Arby's, we have the meat.
This is not another 18-blade razor.
Because this is one blade from Philips Norelco. A blade for beards and stubble. Shape and shave any length and be your best you with one blade from Philips Norelco. Innovation and you. Philips Norelco.
This piece is so you. I saw it and I was just like, oh, I have to have it.
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these.
This piece is so you.
I saw it and I was like, have to have it.
From renter's insurance to rewards credit cards, State Farm is here to help life go right.
Type 2 diabetes? Listen up. We're not professional athletes, but that doesn't mean we're giving up.
I'm in this for me.
For me. Along with diet and exercise, Farxiga helps lower blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes, lowering A1C by up to 1.2 points.
Do not take if allergic to Farxiga. If you experience symptoms of a serious allergic reaction such as rash, swelling, difficulty breathing or swallowing, stop taking and seek medical help right away. Do not take Farxiga if you have severe kidney problems, are on dialysis, or have bladder cancer. Tell your doctor right away if you have blood or red color in your urine or pain while you urinate. Farxiga can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast infections in women and men, serious urinary tract infections, low blood sugar, and kidney problems. Stop taking Farxiga and call your doctor right away if you have signs of ketoacidosis, which is serious and may lead to death.
I'm in this for my family.
I'm in this for me.
Ask your doctor about Farxiga and learn how you can get it for free. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Hey, curly-haired man.
Hey,
You're going to want to sit down for this, because you can get a large 2-topping Pizza Hut pizza for $7.99 delivered. And with the new Pizza Hut delivery tracker, we'll text you when your order's on the way. The best pizza delivery deal, now easier to track.
Chevy call to the bullpen takes us to right-hander Matt Bowman, and his role has grown as last year went on, and certainly this year. Started the season dating back to last year, beginning of this year, 19 2/3 scoreless innings for a former Rule 5 pickup from the New York Mets, where he was a starter in Las Vegas, their AAA affiliate. So 2 outs and nobody on. Bowman pitched in game 1 last night. He faced Ben Zobrist in the 7th with a man on, struck him out, and then got Candelario to fly to center to end a threat.
Imagine being a starter in Las Vegas and then getting released. You have to call every team in baseball and say, hey, wait a second, guys, give me a chance here. It's like playing on the, it'd be like playing in Colorado Springs in AAA, having a tough year and then getting released. You're like, okay, of all the 2 places you can play where it's a hitter's ballpark, last thing you want to do is get released after that year.
1 ball, 1 strike on Rizzo, pair of walks. Then the controversial double play that he was a part of back in the 5th. So Carlos Martinez for the Cardinals today, 6 2/3, 3 runs on 5 hits, struck out 7, walked 4, and gave up the home run to Ian Happ. Ground ball that's hit to first. Carpenter is there, and it's time to stretch. Ian Happ, his first major league home run. You're watching the Cubs and Cardinals on both FS1 and Fox Sports Midwest. It's 5-3.
Here comes the fun with CDT. Sea-Doo has the most affordable watercraft on the market, starting at just $52.99, and get 0% financing. Visit seadoo.com today.
Looking for authentic Italian flavor? Head right to the nearest Subway. Introducing the Italian Hero footlong, stacked with Genoa salami, mortadella, and spicy capicola. Add oil and vinegar and some Mediterranean oregano. There you have it. It's our better Italian flavor for a better Subway.
They said he was too old. They said she couldn't compete. They said we couldn't compete. The new Skechers Go Run 5. Skechers Performance. Choose greatness.
Getting food to hungry older Americans cannot stop. Let's start talking about how we can really get to the root of the problem.
We hear you. I'm working with AARP Foundation's Drive to End Hunger to change the conversation around hunger. If you don't think we're in this together, when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? You make it detect what they don't.
Stop.
Sorry. You make it sense what's coming.
Watch. Mom, relax. I'm relaxed.
You make it for 16-year-olds.
Whoa.
And the parents who worry about them.
You sound right.
Going further to help make drivers better drivers.
Don't freak out on me.
That's Ford. And that's how you become America's best-selling brand.
Jason Kipnis loves baseball and getting dirty. When he's not playing baseball, he's reading, watching, and listening to baseball. MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball.
Winning is everything. You count down the laps. You wait for that moment. Go for the kill. We race to win, because second place, not an option.
The GoBowling.com 400. Tonight at 7 Eastern, only on FS1.
This is the Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. So Chevy called to the pen. Mike Montgomery was acquired from Seattle. the tail end of last year, and he's been awfully good for the Cubs. I mentioned earlier, battled for the 5th spot in their rotation. Eventually went to Brett Anderson. First batter he'll face is Dexter Fowler. In his last 10 games since April 12th, he has a 16-inning scoreless streak. 12 outings on the year prior to today. 23 innings, and he struck out 17. Not a bad trade if you're Mike Montgomery. You're in Seattle, kind of lost in the great Northwest, and then the Cubs pick you up and you win their first World Series title, help them get to that in over 100 years.
A lot of fun there. You take a look at these shadows. Now is where they're starting to get a little tricky. Everybody's in the dark except for the backdrop. You got a little sliver of sun right in front of the plate. This is when it's starting to be the no fun zone right here when you're a hitter, especially with a guy like a nasty lefty with a bunch of different pitches.
And it's a leadoff walk. That's his 18th walk. That's been really the only blemish against him. Some of the walks along the way. MLB.com at Bat is your #1 mobile app for live baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get club branded home screen icons, app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat today. So Fowler, his 3rd walk in this game. Here's Aledmys Diaz in a fastball that misses inside. He is 0 for 3. Bounced into a double play and struck out twice. Breaking ball, 1-1.
You can see he's got a little bit of everything. He's got a nice fastball, cutter, move the ball around, and then all of a sudden you see this big curveball come out of nowhere.
It was Montgomery that you may recall that hit Matt Holliday last year. If Holliday doesn't get injured and miss significant time, he might be back wearing a Cardinal uniform this year. Both sides have talked about that, and now Matt is with the New York Yankees. And a called 3rd strike. It's a guessing game right now. And I see my partner Jim Edmonds chuckling over there.
That's funny too, because it happens to be to the same guy. I mean, this is a pretty good pitch, borderline, but like I said, you're dealing with shadows. You don't know where the strike zone is, and I think right there that happened to Mr. Diaz twice with borderline calls, but now he's got 3 strikeouts. It's a tough day for Aledmys Diaz.
Here's Carpenter, who has struck out 3 times. So Mike Montgomery not only joins the Cubs for the World Series, but he has a picture and video to last a lifetime. He was the man on the mound that recorded the final out.
That is right. Things didn't go as planned that last inning and an inning and so, or inning and a half, and a couple guys got a nice opportunity to pitch in the 9th inning of a Game 7 World Series. Thought that was pretty interesting. Didn't you watch that unfold? And
oh, it was incredible.
See the things that were going on, and all of a sudden you have Edwards Jr. in the game, and heart got to be pounding, figuring he's probably never going to get into it. And then Montgomery having to come in and close it out. I mean, that's crazy the way they won that game.
Runner goes, a broken bat on a hop to second, only play to first, and LaStella gets Carpenter. Former teammates having a little fun out there. Javi Baez and Dexter Fowler. For fans that maybe are just tuning into our game, you see a lot of the players wearing pink, in particular Montgomery with his stirrups. And that's to raise money and awareness for breast cancer research. Mother's Day tomorrow. Better get your present. Don't forget that.
Those are not stirrups, by the way.
Socks.
There you go. They've kind of gone a little new
Does anybody
school
wear
on
a stirrup
you.
anymore?
Not very many. Even most of the Cardinals guys have the 2-in-1s, which is a sock that look like stirrups, but they've had those for years.
Jerko is 1 for 3 for the Cardinals, and a fastball outside at 95.
Notice, I think the Cardinals have socks that are half pink and half blue, which I was trying to figure out if they had those one sock or two. Guys are superstitious. I was going to say super superstitious. They don't want to take off their stuff, so they just put something over it. But looks like the two clubs have two different sets of socks.
The Cardinals this year with their socks actually have the STL on that sock, which is a new addition to their uniform, which is a classic uniform in all of sports.
But that was thought about long and hard.
Oh, yeah. Can sell a few pair of those. And normally on Saturdays, the Cardinals wear the Saturday throwback jersey, but not today. Take you back to the 4th inning and this solo home run off of John Lester. All the home runs hit by the Cardinal third baseman have been solo shots. That's number 7. He's sitting on 18 RBIs.
I like the fact that they have gone and worn the yellow now for 2 days over the weekend instead of just the Sunday. Get a little bit more awareness, and a lot of people maybe not watching the game on Mother's Day, out to brunch and doing other things. So 2 days worth.
Line to third, taken there by Candelario. Trevor Rosenthal has been throwing in the Cardinals' pen. We move to the 8th.
Anticipating. Touching. Seeing. Hearing. Feeling. Gripping. Stirring. Escaping. Everything you get from a sports car. For great XE offers, visit your local Jaguar retailer today.
It's Domino's. I have to go.
Looking for this?
Yeah.
Order and track your pizza with Domino's Tracker.
For high-powered looks this spring, leave the details to Men's Warehouse and our designer collections, with designer suits just $279. Plus, load up on everything else with buy one, get one free, now at Men's Warehouse.
Liberty Mutual stood with us when a fire destroyed the living room. We were able to replace everything in it.
Liberty did what? Liberty Mutual paid to replace all our property that was damaged.
And we didn't have to touch our savings.
Yeah, our insurance won't do that.
Huh. There goes my boat.
You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
This season on baseball, the curse is over. The lovable losers are winners. And everyone's wondering, what now? Now that the target's on your back, do you work a little harder? Maybe you show up at the park a little bit earlier. Do you stay hungry? Stay loose? Do you remember what got you here? That's this season on baseball.
Get caught up with all the action from around the league on MLB Whip Around. Weeknights at 11 Eastern on FS1.
Next Saturday on Fox, from coast to coast, it's an evening of Major League Baseball. Angels taking on the Mets. Giants battle the Cardinals, or the Rangers against the Tigers. Check your local Fox network for the game in your area. That's next Saturday, 7 Eastern, only on Fox. Trevor Rosenthal, the hard-throwing right-hander for St. Louis. And our Chevy call to the pen, it really sets up as a nice 1-2 punch for the Cardinals. Rosenthal, the all-time single-season record holder in saves at 48, but always the closer. That pitch at 97. The Cardinals have been very cautious with him. as Candelario digs in. He's only thrown in back-to-back games twice this year. And the Cardinals, because of that, have seen a very efficient and effective Trevor Rosenthal.
Well, and if he keeps throwing like he's been throwing this year, he's going to be a closer again somewhere soon, if not right back in here.
Fastball and struck him out. Candelario is 0 for 4. Plaza Tire Fox Tracks.
You can see right here with the exploding fastball at 98, and that's just getting warmed up. I think the thing that Trevor Rosenthal has done this year that maybe people haven't realized is a little bit more consistent with the delivery, a little bit quicker, everything on the same plane, same motion, everything going towards the plate. Same thing that Mike Leake did this year. He's been much more consistent in the strike zone.
The pitch at 97, Tommy La Stella at the plate. He is 1 for 3 with a strikeout. His base hit was to right. The days at O is not available to close, and he has gone 3 days in a row one time this year. Rosenthal is there to potentially close it out. That pitch at 99. 1-2 the count. Lights are on here at Busch Stadium, and our crowd is 47,882. This is the largest regular season crowd in the history of this ballpark. 47,882.
And why didn't we have the Cubs in town last year for a
Right.
weekend series?
Explain that one.
Someone was trying to get more of a crowd during the weekday and figured anybody could bring fans in on the weekend.
Off speed pitch and struck him out. Good matchup tomorrow. Budweiser, what's on tap? Adam Wainwright, 7 starts this year, and the ERA of 6.37. Not used to seeing that. He'll go against Jake Arrieta. He only lasted 3 2/3 his last time out against the Rockies. So good matchup. Right-handers tomorrow. You can see that game on Fox Sports Midwest. 2 outs, nobody on, and Wilson Contreras.
See if Bueno can't regain that form that he's had year in and year out. I thought the last time I saw him throw, his arm angle looked a little different. Ball was not really staying on plane. It wasn't getting the run. It was kind of running across the zone. And that's something he's had to rely on in the past. He's had that good sinker. He's lost that sinker a little bit and get just more of a run. Stays in the zone a little bit longer, is able to be hit a little bit more. And his breaking ball not been as sharp, but the fastball I think is the key for him, and you got to keep those hitters off the curveball.
Lined and caught at first base by Matt Carpenter as he robs Contreras of a base hit. And a 1-2-3 inning for Trevor Rosenthal. It's 5-3.
How you like the ribs?
So good.
What we should be doing is putting those ribs on a burger. Take the bones out. Let me say this for the millionth time. I will never put ribs on a burger. Yeah, I know.
Who would do that?
Real ribs on a burger. We did that.
The following ad is being condensed for your viewing convenience.
I finally switched to Geico.
Oh, yeah?
Ended up saving a ton of money on car insurance.
I hear they have a really great mobile app.
The interface is remarkably intuitive.
That's so important.
Machines don't have emotions, but the rare few can inspire them.
Your body's poetry, move your body for me.
With a naturally aspirated 5-liter V8 engine and a 10-speed direct shift transmission, the first ever Lexus LC. Experience amazing.
It brings the heat and keeps you out of the kitchen.
And at $550, your budget won't go up in smoke. Cabela's Pellet Grill. Great price, lifetime guarantee. Only at Cabela's.
Get caught up with all the action from around the league on MLB Whip Around. Weeknights at 11 Eastern on FS1.
Coming up after baseball on FS1, it's NASCAR race day from Kansas Speedway. There you see the guys getting ready. Chris Myers, Jeff Gordon, Darrell Waltrip. They will take you right up to the race. Look forward to it after the Cubs and Cardinals. Right now, let's get back to St. Louis.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Along with the 8-time Gold Glover Jim Edmonds, who played for both the Cubs and the Cardinals, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes with us as well. Mike Montgomery, his second inning of work in a weak ground ball that's hit to second. Off the bat of Yadier Molina for the first out here in the home half of the 8th. Molina is 1 for 4. And the batter will be Greg Garcia. Seung-Hwan Oh starts to throw for the Cardinals in their pen. Miguel Montero is 0 for his last 24 against the Cardinals, so
I think it's not hard to see.
He's not in the lineup, and he said that after that pitch, he said, I'm done.
And you got to try and hit. See, that's my point. Those are the things that you say. You watch the games every day, and you're like, oh my gosh, where's my gear? I'm not doing that anymore.
0-2 the count. I'm not sure how much of the game he's caught. I'm sure he's enjoyed it, but he's probably been wiping up ice cream and soda and popcorn all over the place. As Garcia just got a piece to stay alive. But that's what you do when you come to the ballpark. The 0-2. Garcia strikes out. So Montgomery has recorded 5 outs and has not allowed a run. But this has been what my partner's been talking about for the last week or so. Tommy Pham, Magneuris Sierra, and the impact that these two have made.
I think you used the word infusion. I said, I mean, just the energy that these two guys have brought to the team this last week have been just amazing to watch. You gotta love it. And like I said, people get hurt and guys get called up, and it's a hard deal for a team to watch guys get hurt or get sent down. But you always have that roster of players that come up, and it's a family. And you've had them in spring training, like I said. Sierra, obviously, what a story. A young man did it a couple years ago in spring training, made everyone fall in love with him. Tommy's been around. These guys are welcomed with open arms, and they get here and they put on a show like they've been putting on. It is amazing to the energy that they bring to a club when they arrive, and especially when they turn it up a notch.
2-1 pitch to Tommy Pham, who's seeing the ball well, and I mean that literally, as he has dealt with eye issues for so long in his career. Retinal disease that is always changing prescriptions for proper vision. 3-2. And Bill Welke may want to ask Tommy about those contacts and borrow them.
Or ask Montero for some help.
The curveball, and he struck him out, so he gets 3 strikeouts. The Cardinals have struck out 12 times in this game. It's 5-3 as we head to the 9th.
Pork belly and bacon are two very similar meats, except for a few key differences.
Pork belly is bigger, better, smokier, different name, etc. Arby's, we have the meats.
Getting in your 10,000 steps. Good for you. Hey, steps are steps, no matter how you get them. A little goodness is the beginning of greatness. Whole nuts, real fruit, with dark chocolate. Introducing Goodness Knows.
Finally, partner, our own office.
Never gonna forget this, Dave.
Selfie?
Yeah.
Okay, desk in the background.
Okay.
Best day ever.
Hello, the Hartford.
Hi, we've had some property damage. Please tell me we're covered.
Yes, don't worry. You chose the right small business insurance.
When the unexpected strikes, the Hartford strikes back. It's why over 1 million small businesses and their agents trust the Hartford.
Thank you. Thanks.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Another monumental season comes to life with MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV. Catch the biggest moments from baseball's best all season long. Follow your teams, favorite players, no matter where you are. And with MLB.TV included, you can watch nearly 90 live games a week on your favorite devices. That's every milestone and miracle on the screen of your choice. Order MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV.
Oh, hey, bud. Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
I've been meaning to ask you, is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
The Chevrolet call to the bullpen takes us to Seung-Hwan Oh. He's trying to make it 10 saves on the year. 9 for 10 in that category. Currently tied with Fernando Rodney with 9. Rodney now with Arizona. The league leader in the National League is Greg Holland. 15 already for Colorado. Oh is pitched in 17 2/3 innings. And the first batter is Javi Baez. First pitch swinging, popped up into shallow right. Greg Garcia is there. One pitch, one away. For those of you watching our ball game locally on Fox Sports Midwest, Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live is coming up. They'll break down Carlos Martinez, a look at Pham and Sierra doing it again, and player reaction, and also Mike Matheny, his press conference, all coming up. Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live locally on Fox Sports Midwest. Here's Miguel Montero, who is over his last 24 against the Cardinals.
Now, do you think that he couldn't see when he was trying to catch a simple pitch? Is happy about going in there and trying to hit right now?
Good luck.
I don't know if there's anything more uncomfortable than not being able to see at the plate.
1 ball and 1 strike as we play here in the top of the 9th. It's not often when, as a team is on offense, they strike out 12 times and win a game, but the Cardinals are 2 outs away from doing that. Pitch taken down low, 2 balls, 1 strike. Two and 2.
See right there, O's exploding fastball. Velocity in the low 90s, but somehow, some way, makes it look like the upper 90s to most guys in this league.
2-2 pitch. Back to O. Steps, throws. 2 away for St. Louis. Fans on both sides of the rivalry, much of them standing here at Busch Stadium. Ben Zobrist, the pinch hitter. The first pitch is fouled back. The emergence of Kyle Schwarber and Javi Baez. He has played all over the diamond. He is from Eureka, Illinois, about 120 miles southwest of Chicago, 180 miles northeast of St. Louis. And the Cubs are down to their final strike. The 0-2 pitch by Seung-Hwan Oh. Zobrist in year two of a 4-year contract. And the 1-2. The slider and a base hit into right. That brings the tying run to the plate. With Schwarber up, this game is far from over.
It's another typical Cubs-Cardinals game right here. These last 3 outs are always hard to get, no matter what park you're in.
It truly is one of the great rivalries, this wonderful game of baseball. The Cubs and the Cardinals, the fans have so much fun. Always seems to be tight baseball, and that's what we have here now. Schwarber representing the tying run. 5-3 our score. Of concern for the Cardinals, the fact that O gave up a total of 5 home runs a year ago. Already this year, 3.
And you can tell right there, last year he didn't miss like that. If Yachty set up outside, he missed in the outside half of the plate. Right there, he just yanked the ball right across the plate and ended up on the inner half.
The 1-0 pitch. His best pitch is that slider. If it's not sharp to a lefty, it spins, it sits, and it's hittable.
And there's something in that mechanical situation right there where you're yanking balls like that. If you're pulling the ball all the way across the zone from one side to the other, you can bet that your slider is not going to be as sharp as you expect it to be.
Schwarber today is 0 for 3 with a walk. The 1-1. In the air out to center. Fowler is back near the wall. He's got it. And the Cardinals hold on for a 5-3 win in Game 2 of this weekend series.
What a game, huh, Danny? I mean, typical Cubs-Cardinals, defense, offense, pitching, everything going on. An exciting day at the stadium.
5-3 the final. The Cardinals beat the Cubs. They've split the first 2. Thanks for joining us. We now send it to
Well, there's Joey Logano getting set for a little NASCAR race day from Kansas Speedway that is coming up in just a few here on FS1 as we saw the Cardinals take care of the Cubs 5-3. We'll put a bow on that one. Welcome to our studios here in Los Angeles. The Hall of Famer, the Big Hurt, Frank Thomas. D-Trade, Don Terrell Willis is here, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. I don't know, Big Hurt. I thought Schwarber maybe tied that game up in the end.
I thought that ball was crushed.
Still, though, the Cubs offense, what we're seeing is just, and now look, they were banged up today, but it's just not there yet.
Well, tonight was a patchwork lineup. There's no consistency there. They're going to be fine. Like I said, they just got to get guys in position to succeed. But I think the key is going to be Schwarber. You got to figure out how to get him in the middle of that lineup to do some damage.
No, I agree. And a lot of young guys in that lineup right now still trying to find their way. But again, no one's going to feel sorry for you. You still got to go out there and make the plays. They didn't make a lot of plays, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and it cost them.
How did the Cardinals make it tough for Lester today? It looked like just watching the game, they made him work here.
Yeah, they fought off a ton of good pitches. They took a ton of good pitches. I know Lester wanted a couple calls out there.
Yes.
And it definitely changes the demographic of accounting as well as an at-bat right now, but he made a few mistakes up in the zone, and it cost him. But again, he didn't get that bunt down, that play right there, that cost him a run. So it was just a rough day at the office right there. But he didn't pitch relatively bad. They just pitched a little bit better across the diamond.
Well, it still was a quality start.
Right.
Bottom line is they're not hitting. If they're not hitting in clutch situations, making things happen, I'll take a starter giving me three runs any day of the week with a great offense, and right now they're just not a great offense.
But you're starting to see frustration on Lester right now. You're starting to see it outwardly emotional early in the ball game. I picked up on that. He's not getting the calls, and he understands what's at stake right now, and he's not pitching to where he feel like he can pitch at, and he needs to be that ace and the solidifier in that rotation right now. So he's not pitching with a lot of confidence right now, so he needs to scale back and just calm down and take it one pitch at a time, and he understands that. He's a veteran.
Heck, that was the first bat of the game. He didn't
Yeah, you saw that. Right? He already started shaking his head like he already knew what type of day it was going to be.
Let's not take away from Carlos Martinez. He was dynamite. He shut them down.
He had the easy E going today.
The man is pitching well. He's a potential superstar in this league. I'm glad he's doing well.
No, I agree.
He got rid of the predator hair.
Hey, he got that easy E. I saw he kept going. He kept going to get that gel to the head and going to that rock. He had that dirty slider going today.
4 starts in a row. He's been tremendous. Cardinals beat the Cubs. That'll do it here from L.A. Frank Thomas, Dontrell Willis. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. NASCAR Race Day from Kansas starts now.
I saw it. He kept going to that.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. There's a good look at Kansas Speedway. 40 drivers, 400 miles. NASCAR's 11th race of its unpredictable season.
For one driver, it's been a season full of almost, not quite, just shorts. And for someone accustomed to success, the frustration is all the more real.
Kyle Busch